So very good morning to my online students as well, and a very good morning to all of you. So we'll start with AQR. उसका dictation was left, right? AQR का dictation was left. Please write. Asset quality review. Very good morning, kids. Asset quality review. AQR, asset quality review. Please write. AQR was recommended by Dr. Rajan in order to find out the real nature of banking assets. The real nature of banking assets. See guys, if you remember this picture which we saw yesterday, here देखिए. So what used to happen in India? We know 2-3 things. First, there was this NPA. Second, evergreening. Third, restructuring. And fourth, willful defaulters. We had no clue who is what. Because people were lying, people were hiding all these things. There was a tie-up between the borrowers, the banks, etc. Nobody had any clue about what is what. Everybody got confused. What is real NPA and what is evergreen? No idea. So Dr. Rajan said, before I could give the solution, I need to find out what is the nature of the problem. So that's why in 2015 he suggested it. So please put a full stop and write. It started in 2015. It started in 2015. And by 2016, all the banks were supposed to report their NPA along with details of restructuring, willful defaulters, and evergreening. Full stop. बच्चों देखो, there is one thing ना which is very crucial for understanding governance. This might look like economics, but this AQR was not economics actually. It was governance related reform. The reason being that there was nothing related to money, finance, resource management. It was not being done. It was a simple management or governance in the field of banking, where the RBI governor is saying, very good morning kid, where the RBI governor is saying that I want to exactly know the nature of the problem, then I can give the solution. Just like when you go to a doctor, what does a doctor do? Doctor does the X-ray, MRIs, blood test, all this. Well, that is that only. AQR is like that. So AQR is just like the blood test, the MRIs, the X-rays, where the governor is trying to find out what actually is the problem so that I can give solution. Ab dekho, people now, whenever government or any agency of the government, they become very strict. There is no way that you cannot listen to them, because you know that they have the power to cancel your licenses. You know that they can put restrictions over you and your entire business in the long term can be destroyed. So when government becomes strict, any agency of the government, right? So when the government becomes strict, people do react and people do reveal a few things which they were hiding earlier, and that actually happened. What is the proof that AQR was actually working? This is the proof. So please write impact of, and this question I am expecting in the exam, impact of AQR, Asset Quality Review 2015, impact of AQR 2015. Let's write the impact, bacho. Number one, From 2015 till 2018, from 2015 till 2018, gradually the real value of NPA was revealed by the financial institutions. So, bachcho, everybody started to report their NPA over a period of time because calculation also took time. Some of them were not managing the data well. They started to come and they started to say, okay, RBI, this is my report, this is my. It didn't happen in one day. It happened over a period of time. Now, please write the second point. Second point. Some of the loans which were actually NPA, were being hidden by banks, in the name of evergreening. As well as restructuring. These categories in the second point only. These categories, we are continuing the second point only. These categories were converted into second or third. Which point did we start? Second, no. These categories were converted into NPA. So what happened? All the banks were hiding their NPA. They were telling RBI that, no, this is not NPA. This is evergreening of loan, etc. So RBI said, no, this is fraud because there is nothing called evergreening. You are hiding it. You are hiding the true NPA just to cover up. So then the banks started to say that, okay, confess. They said, yes, we were hiding. Actually, it is not evergreening. That is actually NPA. And number two, they said that this restructuring is not important. This restructuring was just a sham. It's a fraud thing. And they apologized. They said, okay, restructuring was done for manipulation purpose. It is NPA. All of them came forward and they said it is NPA. Now, please put a full stop. And next point. So what is the first point that we wrote? Can you show me your notes? The first point was from 15 to 18 gradually, correct, and some of the NPA which the banks were in, correct. Thank you. Third point, please write. Now we will write the third point. And all the options that I'm giving you, I'm teaching you from both prelims and mains perspective. And I told you that there is no boundary between prelims and mains in UPSC. So if anybody tries to create a boundary, they'll be highly disappointed in the exam. There is no boundary. These days, the dictation that you are getting, no, yes, sir, one by one. This point number 1 to 3, it can be asked in the form of MCQs. 1, 2, 3, ऐसे करके MCQs. Or they can ask you this question in the mains that discuss the impact of AQR, which I'm expecting this year. Next point, please write. Overall, third point, overall, the GNPA, gross NPA, overall, the gross NPA in 2015 was reported as 5%. The gross NPA in 2015 was reported as, the gross NPA in 2015 was reported as 5%, but due to AQR, asset quality review, but due to AQR, it turned out to be 14.6%. 14.6% in 2018. Look at this. 14.6% in 2000. Look how much was hidden. in 2018. Please put a full stop, guys. Next point, which is your fourth point. Please write. After the AQR, RBI became strict. RBI became strict and strict provisioning norms means rules, provisioning norms like PCR were implemented. So the RBI started to tell everyone that have 70%, 60% at least. Pehle to it was saying 20%, 10%. Then I will say now 70%. This is how it all started. Huh? Next point, please write. So 4 points we have already written. Point number 5, please write. India was already using, please write, bacho. India was already using prompt corrective action. Prompt corrective action PCA framework since 2002. But it was made stronger. In 2017. I'll teach you this, don't worry. 2017. Next point. Point number 6. Please write. Point number 6. That the government and RBI also implemented 4R strategy. 4R strategy in order to fix the problems, in the banking system. So, bachcho, can you please tell me how many schemes did I teach you yesterday related to solving the problem of NPA? We started with Lok Adalats. Please count it forever, tell me. Lok Adalat was the first one. And then you have the court system litigation. And then you have debt recovery tribunals. Then you have SARFAESI. Then you have asset reconstruction companies. So please count and tell me what is the number. It is 5. Online, 5. Wonderful. Please write 6th. 6th is AQR, no?
Yes, 6th is.
6 is AQR. AQR is 6. So now we will write the 7th one. AQR is 6th. Please write 7th. We are continuing yesterday's lecture. So point number 7, please write 4R strategy. 4R strategy. 4R strategy. Cool. Yesterday I showed you this, but we didn't write anything. Today we'll do it in details. I think remaining next 1.5 hour we are going to be here in the 4R only. It's big, very big. So what is 4R strategy? It was suggested in the economic survey of 2015-16, but actual implementation started after the AQR, asset quality review. From 2016 onwards, we started to implement this strategy. What is this strategy? This strategy, it's a beautiful one. It says all the time in Indian economy, the RBI and the government of India should make efforts, continuous efforts. It should never be yearly effort. It should be continuous, every month, every quarter. You should try to recognize the NPA, which means we should try to motivate the banks by telling them, please don't hide. If there is a problem, reveal it, we will fix the problem. Because if you hide it and later on we'll find you, 2 things will happen. First, crisis will happen and everybody will be impacted. Number 2, your banking license will be cancelled. And then you will be persecuted, you might be put behind bar. If you want to avoid all these things, please recognize that you have a problem. If you keep hiding your problem, nobody will be able to solve it. And at least from 4 institutions, one should never hide the problem. Doctor, lawyer, teacher, and government. Regulator. Government, I mean regulator. So from these entities, you should never hide your problem, because then solution will never come. So RBI was telling the banks, please don't hide. Get yourself exposed in front of us, we will fix you. So the first is recognize the NPA transparently. And then Government of India and RBI, they said we should find a mechanism, one digital, so that whenever transactions will happen, immediately we should get the information. So core banking solution, this software should be immediately made sure that it is being applicable in all the banks of India. This should be complete. Every bank should be integrated with RBI through CBS. And number 2, audit mechanism will be strong. So RBI will do regular audits, and RBI said that we will train our staff in forensic auditing as well. So what is forensic auditing? So suppose somebody is hiding something, or somebody has removed the name of some borrowers from the register or software. So these forensic auditors know what they do is they use the AI software, and they will try to go back to 10 years, 20 years in future back, and they will try to calculate everything, that is there a point of mismatch anywhere in the data, and they will trace it and they will find it out easily. Technology has made it easy. So whatever is the missing link, whatever is the manipulation, these forensic auditors, they are trained in finding out those things. So they are more equipped than the normal auditors. Auditors, example, chartered accountants. But these forensic ones are highly trained in technology. So it is their job to find out if anything has been erased or extra thing has been added. If the number, for example, suppose I have taken a loan from a bank which is 11.1 lakh crore. And if the bank has mentioned 11 lakh crores, forensic auditor will find it and say that there is a mismatch of 0.1. A normal auditor might say that, okay, the error term has been adjusted, but forensic auditor will say, no, it's not error term. I know there is something wrong, and they will trace it back, and they will say, this is the problem. So RBI started to say that we will train our staff, the skill development programs will start, and forensic auditing will start in India at a bigger, it is already there, but they said we'll make it stronger. That's number 1. So that is called as recognition. So first recognize. Number 2, recapitalize. Today I'll teach you the meaning of recapitalization. It looks very simple. It is not simple. So this recapitalization is slightly different. Whatever it looks, it's not like that. So I'll give an example. Then you will understand how complex it can become. Can I show you one example? So hypothetical story se better, I should give you one example only. So what is, I'll give you the dictation later on. That is actually the recapitalization or capitalization program. So look carefully. I'm going to explain this to you. If somebody will ask you what is the meaning of capitalization or recapitalization of the bank, so you should say infusing new capital. The meaning first is infusing new capital, which means giving new cash. How do you give cash? Ab dhyan se dekhiye. Bachcho, this is also a public sector bank, government bank. This is also a government bank. Now what happens is here, the ownership of the government of India in SBI is roughly 60%, if you remember, 57 point something, right? Roughly 60% is the government ownership. Whenever government ownership is greater than 51%, that organization is a government organization. So here the ownership of the government is roughly 60%. Here the ownership of the government was also roughly around 65%. 65 and here 60. So now what happened is SBI was making huge amount of profits. SBI was highly profitable, but PNB was undergoing some problem. Why? Because some people manipulated the PNB. I told you 1 or 2 people, they did the damage in the PNB. So now what happens is Government of India realized that we have already found out the problem, the total amount of NPA. If we don't put new capital in PNB, PNB won't be able to perform like before, because its loan giving capacity will come down, because it's money which was taken by somebody, it has not been returned. So now the bank looks very small, but you understand that PNB is a very big bank of India, it's comparable to SBI. So we can't see PNB in this condition, because if its loan giving capacity comes down, credit creation will be impacted. Now those people who want to take loan for infrastructure projects will have only one option called SBI. They will never be able to come here. So they don't want this. They want that both the banks should work equally well, because it's a very strong bank. Right? So very good morning, Devanshu. So what do? I'll tell you what they have done. This is how it is done. So what is done is Ministry of Finance comes here. Look carefully, one by one, step by step. Ministry of Finance comes here and says, SBI, I don't want to disturb you first of all. because you are doing well. Since you are doing well, can I get some extra funds from you? So obviously SBI is a government organization. So the SBI, whosoever is the manager, the SBI will say, okay, I will give you funds, but government, let's not change the ownership pattern, because then it would mean that we have to go to SEBI and we have to release IPO, FPO, yes, let's not do it, because quickly you need to help. They said, okay, then the jugaad is, Government of India said, I will sell you government bonds for 10 years, 10 years or 15 years. It said, okay. And then SBI said, I will give you capital. So what happened? Government bond given, and SBI says, capital for you. When this capital came here, Government of India came and Government of India said, I'm giving you capital. The moment you give capital to this company, now Government of India says, I want to increase my presence. So whosoever is the existing shareholder, because only 65% is owned by the Government of India, remaining 35% by other parties. No, you don't need to. So what happens? Now the Government of India calls all the parties and tells them, there is no other way you will get the capital. And since I am going to increase my capital here, and this capital which government says, this capital which I am putting it as tier 1 capital. The best capital, owner's capital. I am one of the owners, I am the majority owner. I am going to put capital. Since I am going to put capital, and whenever you put capital in an organization, your effort should be to put tier 1 capital. And in tier 1, not 81 bonds. Your first effort should be CET1. Are you understanding these things now? So, this Government of India says, that since I am the owner of this bank, I am going to put CET1. Since I am going to put CET1, I need more shares. Which means all the existing shareholders of this company, you will have to compromise, because I am going to bring new life to you. So there will be a voting, and you understand that majority vote is held by government only. Government has to win. That's why they are 65% already. So what happened? Government conducted the voting, government won the votes. There was no opposition to government, because government was doing this on a temporary basis. So government said, I'm putting the money here and I need 5% shares. Immediately government became 70-71 in Punjab National Bank. That's the status currently. And government gave the funds and government took the shares. When government took the share, government told PNB, become healthy, and I'll also make sure that I will participate in the management more frequently, forensics will be done, everything will be proper. And when you start to make profit, give me dividends. Why government requires dividends here? Because government has to return the money and get back the bond. This is a cycle. So this will continue. And in future, when Government of India feels that government's job is done, what will Government of India do? Make an offer to existing shareholders, inside only, that whatever 5% extra I took, I want to give it back to you guys, return my money. This is what they will do. This is called capitalization. So the capitalization which we know as a, take cash and give it to bank, absolutely incorrect. That's not capitalization. Real meaning of capitalization or even recapitalization is this only. And in UPSC, if they ask you, what are the 2 steps of capitalization or recapitalization of a bank? So you have to say that the first step of recapitalization is that Government of India selects a healthy institution like SBI and government sells bonds to them, arranges cash. That cash is diverted to the bank which is not doing well, where Government of India gets the equity shares. And later on, everything is returned. When things become normal, government returns everything and says, we are following a new system in India, GS paper 2, called as minimum government, maximum governance. So whenever you see an action by the government, you have to read everything together. So GS 3 has to be read with GS paper 2. So here, what will government do in future? Would the government maintain 80-90% ownership? No. Government says, I won't. Because if I had to maintain 80% ownership, from day one, government would have maintained 80% ownership. So the idea of the government is not to capture the bank. The idea of the government is to help and participate in the proceedings. When everything will be fine, government will withdraw and say that let me maintain the status quo, what was there earlier. This is called capitalization program. This became very rampant after the 4R strategy. From 2016, it became very common in India. So some critics started to say that government, you are creating harm to SBI in order to benefit PNB. Ab dekho, this I feel as laughable argument. So for example, let's say that there is a sibling in the house, brother and sister. So sister is very strong, brother is not doing that well away for some time. So the parents come in between and parents tell the sister that since you are earning very well, so can you give little pocket money to your brother for some time, like for a month or two. Later on, when your brother gets the job, he'll return the money. This will be the agreement. Isme what is wrong? I don't say anything wrong unless somebody tries to do the fraud. Then there is nothing wrong. And there is no fraud here because guardian is directly controlling both of them. Is it fine? Awesome. So let's come back. So bachcho, that's why I said that in this chapter, if you are slightly more focused, I'll dictate you everything. But pehle I'm trying to give you the meaning. I'll dictate properly, sequentially. So here what was decided? Bahut dhyan sune bachcho, very important. So first of all, AQR happened. Guys, again come back. Some of you are a little late, so I'm capturing everything for you in 30 seconds. So first AQR happened, Asset Quality Review. In the Asset Quality Review, the reality came out that how much is the real NPA. Fine. Then it was decided by the Government of India and RBI that we will take steps one by one to cure the problem. The first cure that happened was, when I taught you NPA, remember, I taught you in great details the provisioning coverage ratio, PCR. So that PCR, when I taught you NPA, I told you healthy assets 0.4, then 10%, 20%. But this time after AQR, since banks were hiding things, RBI said, no. Up to you have to maintain 60%, 70%, 80%, depending on the economic situation. PCR became very strict in India. That's number one. Number two, immediately RBI started to say that I am going to make a new system which is very strong. That system existed in India from 2002 only, but prompt corrective action. But RBI said we will make it even more stronger. So prompt corrective action I'll teach you today. That was made stronger. So first was PCR ratio was increased. Second, prompt corrective action reforms happened in India. And third thing which happened was this 4R strategy. These things were launched after AQR. Under 4R strategy, what was mentioned? What was mentioned under 4R strategy? Number one, forensic will be done and we will be able to find out the true nature of NPA in future as well. It should not be one-time exercise AQR, it should be continuous exercise now. So it became very common in India. So every year RBI goes and randomly starts to do the forensic and says, I want to find out your NPA. So that became very common, number one. Number two, we said, bacho, here you should be careful. Here the RBI and the Government of India said, we will do recapitalization of the banks. But it was not explained how it will be done. This happened in India after some time. Here they said, we will do it. How we will do it? Abhi no idea. Third was restructuring. So they said that what we are going to do is, we are going to find out which is the real asset which is a problem, which is the real NPA, not fraud wala NPA. If I know I can return the money, but I know somebody very powerful in a bank, that person will say that, no, this person cannot return the money. So let's remove his name from the register. And he tells me that, friend, you leave the country. So bank said, this strategy said, no, this will not happen. Through this, we will find out who is in a position to return, who is not in a position to return. Those who are not in a position to return, then this strategy said, we will call it as a stressed asset. And then we are going to launch some steps in future, either to restructure the loan, which is legal restructuring, matlab genuinely restructuring is required, because my business has become a loss. I cannot return the money of the bank. I'm an honest person. The bank says, okay, then I'll reduce your interest rate. I'll give you more time. Only in honest cases this will happen. And number two, if I tell the bank or I tell the Government of India, sorry, my business is a total failure. My personal, like Byju's, my business, my assets, everything is gone. Ab I cannot do anything, sorry. Then government will say, okay, fine, let me find out whatever little property you have left. Let me see if we can sell it and get some money. So selling was the last option. Here restructuring was the main option. So they just mentioned these two words and they said, in future, we will decide how to do it. So here the method was not given. Here the outline was given. And later on, what happened is we started to get all these things. After 1 year, after 2 years, we got, okay, what will be done here? 1, 2, 3. But when this was announced, here it was not mentioned that how it will be done. It was simply mentioned, we will do it. Are you seeing the difference? So for example, when we started the lecture, I told you that I will teach you economics. How? I didn't tell you. Now we are understanding that, okay, this is how we are learning it. So this is like that only. Day one, government said, I will do it. How the government will do it? Government said, later on we'll tell you, one by one. So this is your restructuring. But I told you, restructuring will happen only in honest cases. Fraud cases will be identified here only. So first identify the fraud, find the good cases which are genuine people having problem, then help them. Number three is reform. Why is reform required? Is reform required to find out only the current problem? No. Reforms are required for 2-3 purposes. Yesterday I told you this purpose. The first purpose is that through reforms we try to find out what is the real nature of the problem today. Second, we are able to find out what is good and what is bad. Like demonetization was done or GST was done, we were able to find out that how much of the cash was moving in the economy, as Dr. Geeta Gopinath says, and it gave us an idea that what India needs to do in future to prevent the misuse of cash. So first we need a reform so that we should know the gravity of the problem, that how deep is the problem. Second, we are doing reforms so that whatever current issues are, we can fix it, and reforms are required. Third reason, so that in future these issues should not happen, or even if it happens, the effect is minimized, because it is never possible in this lifetime that any system will be 100% efficient. Can you tell me that? Can you design a system where there will be absolutely no leakage, nobody will be dishonest, there will not be miscalculation? Chalo, everybody is honest, but even then miscalculations can happen. So because we are humans, we make errors. So that's why they say that no system can be 100% efficient. It is not possible. Hence, we will try to minimize the negativities in a system. This is more practical. That's why reforms are required. So the first reform which happened is SARFAESI. In SARFAESI, what did they do? They put the jail term and they made it very strict that when the notice is sent to you, if you do not respond and you do not report, see that straight away you go to jail now. So on one hand, the government is punishing the banks by saying, banks, if you hide your NPA, straight away license cancelled. And if you are a defaulter and getting a notice and you are not responding, SARFAESI is not court. SARFAESI notice is sent by the institution like banks. Banks do not have the power to put somebody behind jail. But SARFAESI has made a provision that if you do not respond to it, it will be reported to the authorities. Then the authorities will put you in jail. And you cannot appeal anywhere because you have not responded. And the proof is you did not physically go and say that, okay, here I am to discuss everything. If you do not report yourself, straight away they will take you to the district magistrate and straight away they will send you to jail. And next is PCA. PCA reform, prompt corrective action. I told you started in India in 2002, but then we made it stronger in 2017. So I'm not writing the year because all this happened in future, which I'll teach you. And then PCR ratio was increased. This is that framework called as 4R, which means if I ask you a question in the class, which I will, in the mains answer writing, which is going to happen now. So I will ask you to write a question, answer in the class where I will give you the question. It will be like this, that discuss the steps taken by Government of India to fix the NPA problem. So if I give you this question, first you will have to write everything. You have to start with Lok Adalats, you have to write the DRTs, then SARFAESI, then ARC, you have to write almost everything, then AQR, and then you have to write this. But imagine how much will you write? Because this is not even the end. Abhi to 1 hour more we are going to do it. Because government took the step, we have to study it. But how will you write this in 1 or 2 pages? Because that will not be the only question. My first question to you will be define NPA. That will be my first question. My second question to you will be, why did NPA problem happen in India? And my third question will be, discuss the steps to fix the NPA problems in India. And this I will ask you in 10 marks. How will you answer? Because I taught you all this in 3 lectures. 3 lectures you have to squeeze down to 2 pages. Even if I give you 3 pages, you won't be able to write this much. So what is the art that you have to learn? And this we have to learn in the class. I'll tell you the art. 1-2 line each. You cannot write more than 2 lines. So if you have to write Lok Adalat, you have to write that Lok Adalat is pre-litigation settlement between parties. Full stop, done. Aap likh ke dikha do, write more than this. You know what will happen? If you write even 1 line more than this, you will compromise AQR. You will not be able to write AQR, you will not be able to write bad banks, everything will be compromised. So do not compromise the main things. There are some side things in your preparation which are very easy, superficial. Usme don't spend too much time. And there are some main areas where you need to spend time. This difference we have to learn. Otherwise, what will happen? If you spend equal time in everything, what will happen in the exam? You will recall everything equally. And then you will be confused what to write, what to leave. So in the class only it should happen. Whatever is less important, less time. Whatever is more important, let's say AQR, 4-hour strategy, we are giving more time because entire NPA structure of India is being solved through 4-hour. So in your exam, you should write 5 lines on 4-hour and 2 lines on everything else. This practice you will do in the class in front of me. So let me first complete this part. And then when do the answer writing in 1 or 2 lectures, we'll do the answer writing. Then you will have to do it in front of me. You have to come prepared with revision. You can open the notes and then you have to write everything in 3 pages. We'll do that. Remember I gave you a question and I told you that one day you remind me about this question when we are doing answer writing. You will have to write the answer in front of me. These are the things that you will write. So this is 4-hour strategy. Please write. Okay, it was suggested. Let's write 4-hour strategy. What is this point? Point number 7. Thank you. Please write point number 7, 4-hour strategy. It was suggested in the economic survey 15-16. By the way, you understand, no? That if economic survey says 15-16, actual year is 2016 because the year which is mentioned in economic survey is previous year. But the real, 1 year back, but the real year is 2016. So the 2016 economic survey calls itself as 2015. So this year's economic survey, which should ideally be 2025, but it calls itself as 2024. So इसलिए 4-hour strategy actually, be careful. 4-hour strategy was mentioned in economic survey 15-16, but which year is this? Actually the year is 2016, but the document is 15-16. So if somebody will ask you which year was it launched? 2016. Which document? Economic survey 15-16. That's the trick. So did you write it? That 4-hour strategy was suggested in the economic survey 15-16. Please put a full stop and please write. The components of 4-hour are the components of 4-hour are number 1, recognize NPA in transparent manner. With the help of core banking solution. I told you core banking solution is software through which all the banks are integrated with RBI. Through core banking solution, forensic audits, as well as regular audits. Number 2, please write. Recapitalize the struggling banks. If you are struggling, government will give you capital. Recapitalize the struggling banks. So government said, I will not let my banks struggle. I will give more cash. Recapitalize the struggling banks. That is infuse more capital. Put more capital, okay? Infuse more capital. 3rd, please write. Restructure the NPAs. Restructure the NPA. Please put a dash and please write. The focus of 4-hour strategy. The focus of 4-hour strategy was to recognize the true nature of NPA and divide them into two parts. Divide them into two parts. Divide them into two parts. Number A, the NPA which can be potentially recovered. Potentially recovered. Full stop. This part could be restructured. Could be restructured. So first you find the NPA and then you try to see which part of the NPA can be recovered. So if you feel you can recover, then restructure it. But if you feel that NPA cannot be recovered, the party has gone outside India, what will you do? Outside your jurisdiction. So what will you do? You will start to sell the property. That's the second part. So point B, point number B, if it is not practical, look at the words, if it is not practical or feasible to recover the NPA, then the asset should be sold. Then the asset should be sold. Right? We will see the details. Next point, please, right? Reform. Reforms. We are writing the fourth R. Reforms should be undertaken. Fourth point. Reforms, because it's 4R, no? We have written 3Rs. The fourth R is reforms should be undertaken to avoid future crisis. Future crisis. So, bachcho, since we have written the 4R strategy, the logical thing will be that we should start from this part and do it one by one. That what was actually done here. So our next point should be point number 8, right? Point number 8. So please write point number 8. So we'll do it component wise now. From here only we have to extract. And in the exam also please follow the same sequence. So please write point number 8, recapitalization. Point number 8, recapitalization or capitalization. Or capitalization. What is the difference? ये क्या चीज है? Recapitalize. When you give capital for the first time, capitalization, but even first time giving capital does not help. You keep giving capital more and more. Again you give third time, fourth time. So government said, I'm ready for both. I can give you one time if it helps, great. If not, I'll provide you capital again 2-3 times. But I will make sure that I will make you healthy again. And see what has happened because of the government efforts. Now the banks are healthy again. So this worked. So we are going to write it, right? You can't draw this diagram because it's not possible. We can't do this in the exam. So what are we going to do? Thoda convert it into a simple diagram. Chalo karte hain. Let's do it. So please write Bank 1. Quickly, let's draw it quickly. Bank 1, Government of India, Ministry of Finance. So what does the Bank 1 do? Bank 1 provides capital and government sells bonds. In the exam, keep the diagram simple. This is fine? Cool. Bank 2. So what is the government doing? Capitalize, cash. right? But government should also get something in return. Yes. Done? Difficult or easy? Very easy. You can convert this into any kind of literature that you don't need to memorize this. See that you can convert it into story. So let's do that. But guys, there is one rule. Whenever you convert diagrams into stories, you have to use the right words and you do not have to over explain. Because I told you in exam, you won't be able to do it. Kar hi nahi paoge. There is no space. There is no time. One has to be disciplined. Let's write. Under capitalization, the government of India sells bonds and collects capital from a relatively healthy bank, like Bank One. Put a full stop, please. Then write, this capital is provided to, that is infused in Bank Two, which is facing NPA issues. In return, the Bank Two has to provide shares. Which share? Equity share. Please write in the bracket, equity shares to the government. Write a note. Through capitalization, the government tries to take the help of a healthy institution. The government tries to take the help of a healthy institution to help a struggling institution. Using this method, separate budget provisions are not required. Right. Did you notice something interesting? The government need not take out anything from budget. Why? Because you are taking money from one bank giving to another, and when the things become fine, you are doing the reverse. Which means that if you are the government and you have limited budget, you don't need to put pressure on your budget. When I teach you budget, I'll teach you so many entries of the budget. You will see that in the entries of the budget, recapitalization, normally you will not see the word recapitalization. Why? Because recapitalization, the way we are doing it in India under 4R is take money from one, give it to another. And when the things are fine, do the reverse. Because it is between government agencies only. One is government bank, another is government bank. You are doing all these things. Acha, is the government of India also doing, since we are studying banking, so we are only talking about banking. Is the government of India also doing recapitalization with Vodafone these days, an Idea? Yeah, they did that. So Vodafone Idea was not doing well. And I don't know if I've told you this or not, just like passing reference, that Vodafone Idea was almost about to be finished off in India. Now PMC knows it. So what happened is they suffered huge losses. So they said we are leaving country. Immediately government of India gave them 30-40,000 crores. And government said that, yeah, give me 32% shares. Equity shares was taken by government of India. But in those equity shares, government of India told them that currently I am giving you 35,000 crores when your company becomes better, because with money you can buy new technology, new mobile network can be created. When you become profitable, return my money, I will return your shares. Because government has no aim or no plan to buy Vodafone Idea. Government says, I don't want to nationalize it. It will remain a private company. I'm just helping you with cash. But if I give you cash without taking shares, it will be called as subsidy. So government says, I don't want to give subsidy to you. So I will give you cash, you give me ownership so that it's equal. It's give and take. It's not subsidy. Subsidy is only one side. So government said, why should I give you money? Who are you? So I'm giving you money, give me ownership. I will save you. And when you are healthy, return my money, I will return your share. And when you return my money, make sure in between you give me dividends also. And government said, I will participate in your decision-making authority. I will participate in your decision-making process so that Vodafone is, or Idea is brought back to health. This is also done in case of private companies. But since we are studying banking, so under 4R strategy, we are writing in the context of banks. Now look at this, please. You dekh rahe ho word? We read this, no? Restructure. And in restructure, I told you two things, that through recognition, we are able to find who is fraud and who is real. If we find that really there is a problem, for example, I took some loan from the bank and I'm a genuine guy, I'm not able to give the money, I'm suffering from loss. Bank says, okay, wait, can you return some part? I have taken 10 crore. So bank will ask me, can you return some part at least? I'll say, okay, yes, ICR is less than equal to 1, correct. So I'll say, I can return 1 crore to you, but that too not immediately, I can do it in like 2 years. So bank will say, okay, for that 1 crore, we are increasing the time period to 2 years. For 2 years, don't need to pay anything. After 2 years, you please return 1 crore. I said, okay. So that part has been restructured. But remaining 9 crore, I said, I don't feel I can arrange that money. My business is gone. So then the bank will say, oh, do you have assets? I'll say, yes, factories are there, some machines are left, because I'm not a fraud. So I will keep it. So bank says, okay, then let me sell it. I recover as much as possible. This is very fair actually, because I have nothing to hide. I suffered a loss. I'm telling you that I suffered a loss. I made some mistakes in business. It's fine. Hiding is a problem. Making loss is never a problem. So bank says, if you are making a loss, I'll help you. But if you are hiding, I'll remove you from India. So I said, okay, sorry, I made a loss. So 3 things were launched for restructuring. How was restructuring done? Here, 3 things. First is S4A. This is under 4R strategy. So if somebody will ask you, explain 4R, I might ask you this question in the class to write. So if I give you a question which says, explain 4R. So first you will have to write this framework, what is 4R? Then you have to explain recapitalization. Isme to you just write forensics, audit, etc. Simple. Here you please explain entire thing. And here you have to say restructuring was proposed through these 3. As you will have to write. And then when I teach you prompt corrective action, then you have to say reforms were suggested like this, which means every step has to be explained. It's a big question. This in itself is a 15-mark question. So this 4R is a big, very, very big question actually. And if UPSC will ask you, discuss all the steps to remove NPA from India, then you have to write entire 4R in 2 lines. That 4R means recognize, recapitalize, restructure and reform. Example, S4A, IBC, bad banks, full stop, done. So if this is just one point of the answer, then 2 lines. If this itself is a question, whatever dictation I am giving you, you have to write that. Do you understand why we have to do in details all these things? Because every point can be a question. And since it is the most important thing which is happening in a bank, how can we leave this? So that's why we are doing it like a 15-mark. But if it is asked in 2 lines, we'll write in 2 lines also. So first we'll do S4A, then we will do IBC, and I promise you I'll make it super easy. And then we'll do bad banks. In fact, we'll do it in at that level, while understanding through stories that the person who made S4A, IBC and bad banks, their heartbeat will rise. That what a disrespect we are getting in this class. Because while understanding, it has to be broken down to basics, but while writing, we will be technical. but story will be absolute basic. I don't know, when I saw these terms for the first time, I was scared. Yeah, okay, what is this code language, right? World War I code between USA and Russia, etc., etc. So, but it's very simple. So let me explain what is S4A. Okay, next point. Please write. What is the point number? Bacho, point number 9. Please write 9. Point number 9. You can't draw a diagram for this, okay? In the exam, don't even attempt the diagram because this will be sort of infeasible to draw in the exam. So I'll give a dictation after explaining. See, what is this point? Bacho, careful. So what did I tell you? That what was written in the 4R strategy? Find the NPA and restructure every NPA. Restructure only that NPA which you know that it's difficult to get it back. So either you restructure or you sell. But if you know you can recover it, try. Keep trying. Keep trying. Isn't it? Because I gave you my example. I took 10 crore loan from you. You asked me a question. And yes, you asked me a question that you, mister, you took 10 crore. Can you return something? I said, 1 crore I can. Why will you write 1 crore as NPA? You will say, okay, 1 crore is NPA currently, but this guy is saying he will return. Mention my name in the register and say, he says he will return it in 2 years. So we are just giving 2 years time. But remaining 9 crore, I said, I don't have cash, I don't have business. I have some properties, if you want, take it. Because I gave you my collateral. Go and sell, because I can't. So, what is this strategy? The strategy is this. A scheme for sustainable structuring of stressed asset. Likh lijiye, write the full form. In the exam, you can write S4A directly. Without writing the full form, you can use S4A because government uses it like this. This is one of the short forms which you can use without writing the full form in the exam. And marks will not be deducted. Done. Cool. So, I'm going to explain, please focus. See this, guys. This is State Bank of India. Now suppose that State Bank of India, SBI, it has given loan to this guy. Right? Loans given. Now, total loan given by SBI is rupees 100 crores. Step by step, try to understand, okay? So 100 crore loan is being given by SBI to him. Now SBI realizes that this guy has said that I can't return the money. Straight away he said I can't return the money. Abhi SBI says that I don't want to capture his assets and take the entire asset in control, because suppose that he has a diamond business. SBI says if I take the entire business, I'm not trained in managing the business. I am bound to fail. And this is the example of diamond. Earlier there was example of aviation. What will SBI do by taking aviation? It is not the job of it, because every time you'll go to book ticket, SBI will say lunchtime. They won't be able to run the aviation industry. You understand the problem, right? Counter number 13, 14. I say our aviation industry also behaves like that only. You go to one counter, they will send you to 13th, and there is no 13th counter. Like try Indigo, you will find all this. So, Abhi, this is the problem. One institution cannot capture another because they are not trained in it. So first of all, SBI says, I'm not interested. Number two, somebody said, SBI, go and sell it to asset reconstruction company. There are some NBFCs who buy these kind of things. SBI said, are you crazy? No ARC will buy this. The reason being that even they are not trained to handle. And if they were trained to handle this, India would have solved NPA problem in 2009 only. 2010 only the problem would have been solved. Because from 2002 we are having ARCs, Sarfezi. So since those days only problem could have been solved. But why we are not able to solve the problem? Because that's not good enough. They are not trained to handle all this. So then it was told to SBI, what will you do? So under 4R strategy, SBI said that same 4R strategy. 4R strategy says find the real problem and try to get rid of that. But if something can be solved, that means that's not a problem. That's a temporary aberration. So if anything can be solved, don't call it as a problem. Call it as an opportunity and solve it. So SBI said, let me hire a third party. What will the third party do? This third party will be full of chartered accountants and people who are expert in finance. So this will be another company. This will be another agency. It will not be bank. It will not be NBFC. It could be any consultancy company. I'll give an example. Suppose that me along with my friends, like 3-4 friends, we decide that we will become consultants, private consultancy, like Dr. Prabhat Kumar. After he completed his IAS tenure, he became a consultant. So whenever World Bank, Government of India, they feel they are troubled, they call him and he reaches there with the team and he says, tell me, sir, what's the problem? I'll give my consultancy to you. So suppose that I become a consultant to the banks. Whenever they face problem, they might call my team and ask me that, hey, from this 100 crore, you, Mr. Consultant, private, not government, but private, can you please tell us out of this, how much loan can be recovered and how much you feel is impossible to recover or impractical to recover? Whatever I do, I won't be able to recover that. So this consultancy says, wait, sir, let me find out. Ab dekho, what will it find out? So this private consultant asked me a question to SBI, that SBI, how much loan you gave? I said 100 crore. It said, did you take collateral? I'll say, I took the collateral. No? So they said, which collateral? So I am SBI. I will say that first collateral that I took was a building and a shop that this guy owned. He had a shopping mall and a building. That was my collateral, and some diamonds. Sir, okay. Some jewelry, not diamond, but jewelry. So then this guy says, let me do a check that at that time the value of collateral was 100 crore when he took the loan, but today is the value of the collateral still 100 crore. He does the check and he finds out that whatever was the jewelry part, he says that is fine. The value of that is 90 crores. So he says, this you can recover. But there is another part which is 10 crore worth of collateral, which this guy told you, building, shop, shopping mall. So this third party tells me, you will get nothing for that. You can't, because if you delay, its value will keep going down very fast. Because this guy is getting negative publicity, no? So when you get negative publicity, the value of your fixed assets, it starts to go down because people associate negativity with your property and they will say, God knows what will happen. Why to buy his shopping mall? So immediately this third party said to the bank, that bank, 10 crore is the value of the shopping malls and the shops that this guy has. Immediately sell it. Otherwise there will be a problem. So what will SBI do? SBI will say, hold. This is shopping mall. So I can do one thing. I can capture the shopping mall, transfer the ownership in my name, 100% is shopping mall. If I feel I need it, I'll keep it, I'll open a bank branch. And if I feel in future I can sell this property, when his name is cleared, when the property is disassociated with his name, because one day to this person will be out and the entire property will be in the hands of SBI. So SBI says, this 10 crore worth of property, I will convert into equity share or preference share and I will keep it. Whatever suits me. So this third party said, but sir, you understand, if you keep preference share, then you are a guest. If you keep equity share, you are a decision maker. SBI said, okay, then I prefer this. That's why I made you write. Remember, Abhi, in the dictation, I made you specifically write that in the bracket, please mention equity share. Because if you just mention share, this idea would have come to your mind, acha, which share? Equity or preference. If you keep preference share, then you are not the real owner, because then you are the guest. Anybody come and interfere you. So this 10 crore worth of property, immediately SBI says this, because the agency is saying you cannot recover this money. Don't wait. If you wait, its value will go down. So SBI said, convert it into the shares. Give it to me, I'll keep it in my pocket. If I want to use it, I can. If I don't want to use it in future, I'll sell it to any bidder, any highest bidder which I find in future. So what is the headache portion of SBI now? This part. Because SBI now totally is controlling it and SBI says, I am the owner of this property. If I want to use, I can. If I don't want to use, I'll sell it to somebody in future when the situation is right. How does it help the SBI? Because this entire thing was NPA. Now what is the NPA part? This 10 crore has become the shares of SBI. So this is not NPA now. Your NPA has reduced to 90 crore. Because this is that part, sustainable. Sustainable means this NPA, the banks can sustain for some time and they can try to recover it. So you can tell him that release more diamonds, please. Where are the diamonds? And India can file a case in those countries where he's hiding the diamonds, which means there is a hope that we can capture this. Isme to hopeless. So SBI said, since this is hopeless, if I leave it, it will become more hopeless. So this is applied only, this strategy is applied only in those cases where whatever is your total NPA, you can divide it into two parts. One part which you feel you can recover through various methods. The second part is that part where you know that if you don't do anything about it, its value will go fast, its value will go down very, very fast. For example, the building, the assets, the machines will start to rust and there will be no market value of the machines. Because if you don't use your aviation industry, the flights for very long, they will start to rust and everybody will say outdated flights, safety, security threat. So there is no use. So these kind of things are immediately converted into shares. SBI will control and say, now I will operate this. So what will SBI do in case of this? Take the shopping mall, convert it into SBI branch and start using it. And when SBI feels the time is right, property market is good, sell it. This is the method. Thoda complicated, but this is the method. So what is the name of this? Scheme for sustainable structuring of stressed asset. Is better than selling the entire thing. Because if you go in the market to sell entire thing, haircut will be huge. Yahan pe the haircut problem can be controlled. Because you are owning the asset and you are holding it for some time. Please write. That's why iske liye na don't draw a diagram. Not possible. So, no. I'll teach you bad banks. First, please complete this. Please likhiye. Sorry. Your friend has mentioned a current affairs news actually. And she was asking that, does it come under S4A? No, actually it comes under bad bank, which I will teach you after this only I'll teach you bad bank. So please write. Under S4A, the bank hires a third party that is an independent consultation agency which reviews the bank's NPA and divides it into two parts. Number A, sustainable NPA. This is that part of the NPA. Where recovery is possible. Number B, please write. Unsustainable NPA. This part of NPA is difficult to recover. So the bank converts it into shares. And after becoming the shareholder, removes that NPA from its accounts. Done. So what will happen now? In future, if you ask SBI that what is your NPA, SBI will say 90 crore, 10 crore I have already controlled. But don't you understand that it's all fair? It is done with confidence of RBI, that third party hired, because when RBI will come, they will do the forensics and they will check what have you done. They will check every report like this. They will say, why did you convert this into share? Then you have to justify that RBI, imagine that I am holding on to that property for very long. I am not doing anything. Its value will deplete. Its value will go down. Negative sentiments will be attached. And if I am holding the machine of somebody, it's the machines I am holding, the diamond cutting machines, the machine will start to depreciate and its value will come down in future. The more I wait, the more the decline in the value and I will suffer a loss. So why don't I convert this 10 crore worth of whatever is the loan into shares? I own the machine. If I want, I can sell it. If I want, I can lease it. I have 20 things in my mind which I can do with that. But at least I'm being honest here. And the sustainable part, I'm still trying to recover. This is a new concept. So first divide the NPA into sustainable and unsustainable. This is S4A. But don't you feel, एक और example, let me give one more example to you. Don't you feel that there are many cases where sustainable, unsustainable system will not work? Why? I could find only these three examples what to do. So what happened is these three gentlemen, MMM, Triple M. So see the story. This is real story. So what happened is these three gentlemen, they took 100 crore rupees from SBI and PNB. That's why I've written both the names this time, because it happened in both. They targeted both these banks. And who is targeted in life? The innocent people. They are always targeted. Be careful in life. Because when you join the services, there will be people who will target you as well on everyday basis. And they will try to make sure that you are not able to do your job properly. At that time, don't leave the field. You have worked so hard to achieve success. You are putting literally your blood and sweat. So when adversity happens around you, you have to be doubly strong. So if adversity is 4 times, you have to become 4 into 5, 20 times stronger. So focus on this, please. There are 2 banks, SBI and Punjab National Bank. See what has happened. 100 crore these people have taken. Right? So I don't want to take their names. MMM. This is their name. So 100 crore rupees these guys have taken, and the rate of interest they promised to the bank was 10%. And they said that we will return the money in 25 years. This was their promise. Take it seriously, huh? This was a promise that we will give you 10% rate of interest and in 25 years we will return the money. Okay, fine. Now when the bank went to them, straight away they said that, sorry, we can't. Then the bank said, then we need to be strict with you. They left the country. Straight away left the country. So if they leave the country, before that, the bank gives them an option that you see, you are saying that you will return the money 100 crore in 25 years, 10% rate of interest. And now when we are coming to you, you are saying, sorry, can't return the money. So we are a bank, we want to give you this option, very honest option, that let us restructure. Let's reduce your rate of interest from 10% to 5%, time period from 25 to 40 years. But suppose they said yes to the bank that we are ready for the restructuring part, but next day they take the flight and leave. If they would have restructured, there is no problem. Because this is a genuine thing. Bhai, you are facing a business issue, bank is giving you more time. What is the problem? It's fine. It happens in life. But what did they do? Why I had to take this example? I couldn't find anybody else. Because this is the only classic case which happened like this. So bank already gave them an option that let's restructure. They said, yeah, we'll restructure. Next day flight and out. Abhi, when you are out, so then what has happened is bank has to write off your loan. Because for how many years will the bank wait? And do you really believe that SBI and Punjab National Bank are going to send their team of 10 people, 20 people by financing their tickets to countries where these people are hiding? Difficult. Because even if you go to those countries, there is a problem that we do not have the extradition treaty related to these economic offenders. So we try to create laws in our own country, but sometimes it is difficult to bring them back. So what did the SBI and PNB do? SBI and PNB tried to find out, example, that what is the property given by them. For the last decade, we have been trying to find out the property we could not find. Why? Because I told you the way the fraud was done. How was the fraud done? Through letter of credit. You befriend 3 people in a bank branch without giving collateral. You force the signature of your manager. Manager is on leave. And very small letters you get it signed. Forgery. 1 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees, 3 lakh rupees. ऐसे करके you get it signed. You don't pay any collateral. And wherever the property of these gentlemen are, it's so difficult to find the property ka real papers. So it's not that easy. So what did these banks do? And whenever the solution has happened recently, the solution hasn't happened because of banks. Solution happened because government interfered. So abhi we are discussing bank. Let me discuss bank first. So what happened? This 100 crore rupees option was given. Don't bring abhi current affairs. Huh? Current affairs I'll bring after this. First, the framework. Else you'll be confused. And don't jump. So what happened here? 100 crore rupees taken by them. Rate of interest 10%, 25 years. They said, sorry, can't return the money. Bank said, okay, restructure. They agreed. Next day, they left. Left matlab either they leave the country or they hide. Now what will you do if you are a bank? Very difficult. So as a bank, you will write off this loan and you will say, okay, I am not going to recover it. I will call it as bad loan and gone. Because I can't go to other places. Then government comes here and government says, hold. He must have given you some collateral. So SBI said, yes, little bit collateral was given in the story. Hardly 1 or 2 collateral was mentioned. Then government said, you hold on. Because these guys were paying property taxes. These guys were paying so many taxes when they were in India. They had malls. They had stores. So government said, let me identify their properties one by one. Since they did a fraud, they did not mention the collateral in the paper. But government agencies, when they work together, it's not difficult to find the properties. Because all these companies would have a headquarter registered in Delhi, Mumbai, somewhere, Bangalore. It's so easy to find. So Government of India said, let me find out through taxation, through different agencies. They found out all the properties. Then Government of India said, I'm making a list of the property whose value will be equal to 100 crores. That list made. All right. Now that list was given to this bank. And Government of India said, there's your collateral. This is your list. You keep it now. And what is the value of that collateral? 100 crores. So example. So now this bank, because why? I told you that they took the money from the bank through false signatures without giving collateral. Now Government of India has taken the name of the collateral and given that paper to SBI and PNB and said, there's your collateral. Do whatever you want with this property because its current market value is 100 crores. Because this loan was taken 7 years back, but government is recovering the property now. So the real value of the property today is 100 crores. Fresh properties, land, building, this, that. So now SBI has the property. SBI says, what will I do? So Government of India says, you decide. So SBI says, let me find out what is sustainable, what is not sustainable. Government was laughing at it. The government said S4A. Here S4A will not work. Because sustainable means somebody is there to talk to you and give you a promise that I promise I will return something, but they are not here. So what is sustainable? The entire loan is unsustainable. Sustainable means these people should talk to bank and say, I am ready to pay 10 crore. That 10 crore is sustainable. But here they are not here in India. So entire 100 crore unsustainable. So what did you learn? First of all, whenever somebody takes a loan and the banks offer them the restructuring plan, but they don't agree. Either they leave the country, they don't agree to it. And despite restructuring, they are saying that we are not in a position to pay. Then what do you do? Then S4A will not work. Because they are not ready to pay anything to you. If they are ready to pay, then only you can say, no, let's do sustainable and unsustainable. But they are saying we can't pay, sorry. So then what happens is the banks try to find out the list of collateral. That can we find properties of such people? Makes a list. Then this bank will own the list and say this list is mine now. I am in total control legally. And here the help of center and state government is also taken. Because suppose these people have some land. Land is a state subject. So if the land is in Mumbai, then SBI will have to talk to government of Maharashtra and say, please, I am transferring the land in my name. I need it. Because this guy took the loan. All the paperwork will happen. Immediately property will be transferred in SBI's name. So 100 crore worth of property done. Up see what SBI will do. Now, Government of India said, SBI, you don't take the pressure. But first of all, you don't write it off. You call it as NPA. Don't try, because now you have the collateral. So you first call it as NPA. SBI says, "Theek, I'll call it as NPA." Then Government of India said, do one thing now. Take your 100 crore worth of property papers, this property papers, give it to an agency called as NARCL. So take this paper, its value is 100 crore. It has land, it has building, it has machines. Give this piece of paper to this agency called as NARCL. I'll tell you what is NARCL. Give this to NARCL. Why will NARCL accept it? Because NARCL is actually an NBFC. It's an NBFC. And the name of this NBFC is ARC, Asset Reconstruction Company. And it is government owned. Who established this company? This company was established, 51% ownership of this NARCL belongs to Government of India. For example, companies like government banks like SBI, PNB, all these banks, no, they have contributed money here. When they were healthy, they contributed money. So 51% ownership of this company, NARCL, belongs to public sector banks, 49% belongs to private banks like HDFC. So it's a partnership between government and private banks, and they created an ARC. This ARC is a partnership between government and private banks. Now, what is the full form? Ye dekhiye. National Asset Reconstruction Company. I told you it is an asset reconstruction company. So this partner is ARC, Asset Reconstruction Company Limited, and this is national. And who is the partner here? 51% ownership belongs to government and 49% belongs to private agencies, private financial institutions like HDFC. They are a part of it. Then there is another agency called as India Debt Resolution Company. So this company is called as Asset Reconstruction Company. Why? Because they take the NPAs. They accept NPA wala documents. And what is the job of this company? India Debt Resolution Company. This paper, when they take it, they pass it on to them. And what is their job? Their job is to accept this paper here. From here, the paper comes here, and their job is that they try to find a buyer of this piece of paper. So this piece of paper reaches here, from here it comes here, and this piece of paper, they will try to sell it to a buyer who will give them a high price. The buyer could be Indian, the buyer could be foreigners. Which means these are the people who are trying to convert your NPA into something good. These are the people who are managing this entire thing. So they are called as asset management companies. And these are called as asset reconstruction company. Why reconstruction? Because when NPA comes to them, they take this piece of paper and they keep the piece of paper with them. They issue another paper, which is a very clean paper, which says the name of the property which we are ready to sell is this. NPA wala paper is kept by them only. Then they issue a new paper which is very clean. And in this paper, what will be written? That these people, ARC is the owner of this paper. So the defaulter's name is removed. You will not find the name of MMM in this piece of paper. Here the name is MMM, that this land belongs to MMM. But when this paper comes here, this asset reconstruction company, it changes the name. And it says, I am keeping this original paper, I am issuing another paper. This paper will be very clean. And what will be written on this piece of paper? That ARC owns this. Then this will be given to them. They are management company. What will they do? They will sell this piece of paper as if this piece of paper is a product. It's like a pen. So somebody gave, so suppose that this pen comes here, pen goes here, and this company says, I will sell the pen to the highest bidder. This is how it is done. Who owns this company? 51% government and 49% private. This. And who owns this? 51% private, 49% government. So who owns this management company? 51% private. Which HDFC owns this. Government is a minority partner. And who owns this company? Government. Why the government owns this company? Because if you let the private sector own this company, they will say, why should I buy this piece of paper? They will refuse. They will say, I don't want headache in life. So the government agency says, I will get the headache. The headache is mine. You just become my manager. You help me to sell. So if you are unable to sell, the headache is not over you, the headache is over me. So government says, I have created this company so that I can accept the paper. The headache comes to me. I will change the name on the paper. I'm just giving you the product. So bacho, I am this company. I am this company. I am the government company. SBI brought this paper to me. And SBI gave the paper to correct. SBI gave the paper to me. I accepted it. I'm the government company. SBI is my bank. I will accept it, obviously. And then I changed the name on the paper. And I mentioned that now this paper is mine. What is the name that will be mentioned? NARCL. Property belongs to NARCL. And nobody will know who actually owns this property now. This piece of paper I'll give to my online and offline kids. Who are you? The private company. You are IDRCL. You are just my caretaker of the property. I gave you this. I said, please, you are the marketing and management people, sell it. And if you sell, I'll give you commission. Okay, commission. So if you sell this 100 crore ka property for 100 crore, I will give you your cut, 1%, 2%, whatever we negotiate. If you sell this 100 crore ka paper for 90 crore, then also I'll give you some commission. So whatever value you sell it, I'll give you some commission. So let's go back. Let's see it here. It gives more clarity. So what has happened? This guy simply refused. He said, I can't give 100 crore. I don't have money. And he ran away from country. So what did the government do? Government said, hold on. This time don't write it off. Call it as NPA. Bring that NPA paper to NARCL. NARCL is government owned. The moment it came to NARCL said, I am going to change the face of the paper, make it look cleaner, and I'm going to give it to IDRCL. And it was, yes, paper clearance, correct. And what did IDRCL do? It's a private company. It says, I will not take responsibility. So this institute said, who is asking you to take responsibility? You are just a manager. And anybody who sells something in the market is called market maker. So whenever you approach somebody to sell, this is very important. Whenever you approach somebody who is selling properties, who is selling documents, who is selling shares, bonds, debentures, in these kind of places called market maker. So why? Because market maker, this acts like a market maker. This is helping this institution to create a market for this paper. This paper does not have a market. This agency says, I will create a market for you. So this is a very generic term, literature term. Anybody who teaches you something is a teacher. So for example, if Mr. Narayan Murthy comes in the class, he is an entrepreneur. But if he takes your class today, he becomes your teacher for that period. So this agency is helping you to create a market of this paper. So this agency is called market maker in that sense, literature, not economics. So now this paper will be sold to domestic or foreign investor. Now देखो what happens here. Now this SBI is saying, this SBI told Government of India that Government of India, there is a problem in this system. What is the problem? The problem in this system is, if you have to do this only, the previous method of ARC was good. Because you used to take your loan, take the paper to ARC, then sell it to ARC. But here I am just giving the paper to ARC. What am I getting? Where am I in the picture? Earlier case, when you go back, you see what happened earlier. Earlier case was much better. Here go. Under Sarfezi, what used to happen? 100 crore used to come here. Loan used to come here, 100 crore. Collateral was here. And when this guy refused that I can't pay the money, then what did SBI do? SBI took his collateral, sold it to ARC. And what did ARC do? ARC said, your price is 100 crore, but I can give you only 80 crore. 20 crore was the haircut. So this system is good. At least SBI got rid of it, no? What is happening here? Here the SBI is stuck. SBI is in the drama only. Paper name change, fresh paper issued. You are the manager, you are the caretaker. I mean, lost. Government said, hold on. This time what will happen is, new system. Carefully check, please. So what happens? This guy says, I cannot return the loan. So let's remove him from the picture. He's out of India. Gone. This loan is also out. It's not going to come back ever. It's out. So what has happened? Restructuring not possible. Because he refused. He left India. Up there is no other option. So why SBI couldn't sell his property? Because entire list of property was not available. So government helped SBI first of all to arrange the list of properties. Accepted. Now that list of properties here, and this belongs to SBI. This is your collateral. What did SBI do? SBI took this paper. Dekho. SBI took this paper and SBI gave this paper to NARCL. NARCL asked SBI, what is the value? SBI said 100 crore. So NARCL, how do you know? So SBI says, you are government, I am government. This fresh piece of paper has been given by government. Its value is 100 crore, current market value. So this NARCL says, no, but everything has to be recorded because later on forensics will happen. So just because we are government from the same family, if my sister is committing a crime, should I be with her? Just because we are from the same family? No. So this NARCL will say, give it to me in writing, SBI, that government has done the valuation of this. Because government gave you the property list, give me in writing. So everything will be written, this piece of paper given to them. The moment paper comes here, see the beauty. The moment paper comes, whatever is the value of the paper, it's 15%. 15% is calculated, whatever is the value. That 15%, immediately it is paid to SBI and Punjab National Bank in the form of cash. How do they get the cash? NARCL? Because I told you, this is a government agency. This is NBFC. And NBFC has capital inside it. And who has put capital here? Government and SDFC. They have put capital here. So from there, 15 crore rupees immediately transferred to SBI and PNB. Now they are happy that finally, first of all, immediate 15 crore. How much is remaining? 85. So now what they will do is NARCL, they will write a piece of paper and they will write on that 85 crore due. And this piece of paper is called as security receipt. 15 crore given. 85 crore ka receipt is given. That you keep it. Because the moment you gave receipt, अब you are free to do whatever you want with this paper. 15 crore given plus a security receipt, SR given. 15 crore plus 85 crore ka security given. Now this paper comes to NARCL. NARCL keeps this original paper and issues another paper. That another paper will say that the new paper belongs to this fresh paper. That paper is given to IDRCL. This is asset reconstruction company because they changed the paper, and this is management company because they don't have any liability. They are simply helping. So they will take the piece of paper, new piece of paper, and they will try to sell it. Suppose they are able to sell it. For example, I have to take some examples, so I am taking 90 crore. They are able to sell it for 90 crore, not 100, but they will try their best to sell it for 100. But aisa hoga nahi, it will never happen. It will always be sold at a lower price. So 90 crore, which means 90 crore will come back here. The moment 90 crore comes back, this guy says to SBI, that SBI already gave you 15 crore. I was supposed to give you 85 crore more. But how will I give you 85 crore? Because total value of the property is 90. And I have to give commission to him also. I have to keep some commission also. So commission is decided, suppose 2.5 crore commission here, 2.5 crore commission here. Example, just for calculation. So out of this 90 crore, 5 crore commission gone. Nothing is free here. This is a company. Company needs profit. Else how will they survive? They also need profit. So 5 crore gone. So what is left here from 90? 85. But 15 crore already paid. From their pocket they paid 15. So why will they pay 85 now? 15 they have already paid from their pocket. So 85 minus 15. How much will be paid? 70 is paid. So 70 crore will be paid. So how much is the SBI getting? Let's add it. 70 plus 15. 85 crore SBI gets. And how much do they get? 5 crore. 2.5, 2.5 plus 5. Total 85 plus 5, 90. This is what you got here. 90 you got, no? Do you have to write calculation in the exam? Never. What do you have to write in the exam? Only one thing. The moment a paper comes, immediately whatever is the value of the paper, 15% is paid to the bank immediately. And remaining amount is paid after the sale takes place. Whatever money they get, they keep the commission. And after deducting the commission, whatever amount is left, they pay it back. So the original value of the property was, finally let me write, original value of the property was 100 crore, but it has been sold for 90 crore. Ye dekho, 90 crore. Out of 90 crore, 5 crore is the commission. Commission of these two. One is reconstruction, one is management company. So now you know there are two companies. One is ARC. Who keeps this 5 crore? ARC and AMC. Asset Management Company. So 5 crore gone. How much is left? 85. This 85 goes to SBI. But from this 85, the upfront payment, when the process started, just to give them some token amount, 15 was already given to them. But total money that SBI will get is 85. Is the haircut same like previous case or thoda less haircut? Less haircut. In previous case, when the ARCs were doing the business, the haircut was 20 crores. Here the haircut has come little down. The reason? Because this company will take less commission. If entire thing you would have left to this guy, they might have told SBI that unless you give me 20-30 crores, I will not do the job. But now because government agency is involved in between, they try to minimize the commission part. And they try to say, no, we are government only, will try to minimize. So commission is minimized. And since they are behind them, they are just the caretaker. Caretaker is only concerned with commission. And what will be the commission? The higher the price, the more the commission. So now, this ARC is telling this IDRCL that beta, you sell this piece of paper whose value is 100 crore, you try to sell it for very high amount because your commission is attached to this price. So what will they try now? They will try to sell it as high as possible. That's why the haircut is less. It's complicated, but this is how it is. Ye kya pada? What did we study? We studied bad banks. When did the concept of bad bank come to India for the first time? 2017. In 2017, under the 4R framework, it was suggested. But when did we see the bad bank for the first time? The concept started there. For the first time, we saw it in 2021. And when did we see this final shape, this and this? 2022. So this is for the first time, 2022, that we have established this kind of system. And it is working since 2022. But why did we create this system? We created this system because when the asset, that paper was coming to SBI initially, SBI was stuck with the paper. And SBI was thinking about what to do. Because SBI is not an expert market maker. When SBI used to get the paper of the asset, if you tell SBI you manage, SBI will say that's not my job. Because I'm a bank. How will I go in the market and do the market maker's job? I'm not trained in it. Like if you ask me to teach biology, I can't. But you will say, but biology is also a subject. It is a subject, but I can't. Because I'm not trained in it. But you guys are preparing biology as well for UPSC. You can't tell UPSC, I will not study. But as a faculty, I will not. I'll tell you one of the very weird things. So for example, if you go to the best of MBA colleges and best of institutes for economics, like masters and PhD, it is very funny. So I remember that one time I was attending a lecture of a professor who was teaching us mathematical economics. And he explained a question on the board, and I asked him, I said, sir, can we apply this in macroeconomics? He said, I don't know macro. I said, come on. And that professor is from Princeton University. From Princeton, he has a record of completing the PhD in mathematical economics in the shortest possible span. He's the record holder. His name is Dr. Sudhir. So, Sudhir Shah. So he said, I don't know macroeconomics. It is not possible that you don't know microeconomics. Why? Because when you do a PhD in economics, you know everything. But you don't specialize in it. So what they say is they maintain these ethical boundaries. When you go at top level, no? So if somebody has done a PhD in mathematical economics, if you ask them a question in micro, they will not answer. Because they will say, I'm not a subject expert, I'm not in this domain, so why should I give answer? Because if I'm wrong, etc. or something, and you quote me somewhere, you use this result, it will lead to disasters. So they will never answer your questions at that level. So here, it is that level only. The job of a bank is not to become market maker. The job of a bank is not to act like NBFC. Similarly, NBFC should not act like a bank. So that's why when the paper was there in the hand of SBI, SBI said, I don't know what to do. Because I have tried in the past ARC, I have tried in the past some restructuring of the asset. Ye dekhiye. Do you remember this? Deadly thing which was done by, let me show this part to you. Do you remember when I was teaching you Dr. Rajan wala part? SDR, you remember? In one of the cases, the airline's paper was kept by SBI, and SBI said, I will become the shareholder and I will sell the shares. And SBI said, I will try to sell the shares to highest bidder. What happened? It was not able to sell even 1% share. Why? Because all the buyers who were there in the market, they said that if we buy 1% share from this institution, who will control the company? There will be chaos. And SBI was not able to handle. So that's why government said, you should not do it. You are not a professional here. Professional is somebody else. And that professional is this bank. So what does this bank do? This bank does not sell the shares to 1% to you, 1% to you. No. This bank tries to, this NBFC, totally is called as bad bank. So this NBFC management company tries to find out a buyer who can claim maximum properties at one go, so that management is very clear. So if you are selling a shopping mall, this seller would try to find out at least one person who will buy at least 51% of the shopping mall. Remaining 49% can be bought by somebody else, it's fine. Because if you sell it in fragmented manner, 1% you, 1% you, 1% you, who will manage it? Nobody will buy, frankly. So he tries to find a strategic partner. That is also one of the jobs. That is why it's called market maker. So this whole concept is called bad bank. So if somebody will ask you, what are the two constituents of bad bank? Fatafat bataiye. What are the two constituents of bad bank? NARCL and IDRCL. Which out of these two is management company? Which out of these two is called asset reconstruction company? Which is a government company? Which is the private company? Now, why do they work for? Profit or commission? Commission. Their commission is their profit, but the real term is commission. Now, is there a concept of haircut which will be applied here? 100% yes. But the amount of haircut is less. Why? Because SBI gave the property of 100 crore and SBI is getting 85 crore. Haircut is here also. But they try to minimize the haircut because government agency is involved. Till the end, government agency is involved. That's the beauty of this agency. Now, do you sell the shares of the collateral to multiple parties in fragmented manner, or first your effort is to find a strategic partner? A strategic partner. So only the domestic investors can buy the shares, or both domestic and foreign? Both domestic and foreign. So whatever you answered, no. If we include everything in the literature, it becomes bad bank. So let's start. Please write bad bank. This is your next point, huh? Bad banks. Please write. Bad banks as an institution was proposed in 2017. In 2017. By the way, let me tell you where it was proposed. It was survey. So what will be the year of the economic survey? 16-17. Because the year is 17. So obviously the economic survey will be 1 year behind. So 16-17. So if you open the 16-17 economic survey, the original economic survey of that time, if you Google whenever you get time in future after you complete UPSC, you one day decide, chalo, let me see bad banks. So what is the best source to study bad bank? Economic survey of 2016-17. If you open, you'll say, oh, bad bank concept is given there. And there it started to be refined. The origin is that only. So likh lo reference ke liye, it will help you. In the bracket, please write economic survey 16-17. Economic survey 16-17. And by the way, this is the same time when I was both a student and as a teacher also. So I used to come for like some guest lectures here and there, but I was a student as well. So I studied this economic survey for two purposes. One, as a student, because I was learning economics. So I was studying it because I wanted to learn, and questions were asked in my exam. I was also studying it because I was teaching UPSC kids at that time. I just started to teach one or two lectures here and there, so that's why. So this bad banks, I precisely remember. I prepared it for two reasons. And see, today I'm teaching you bad banks again. So please put a full stop and write that the concept was refined. The concept was refined. Refined means made better in 2017. Oh, sorry, 2021. Sorry. The concept was refined in 2021 because 17 mein to it came. 2021. And it was given a new shape and implemented using new components from 2022 onwards. From 2022 onwards. So, bachcho, this is the background. Now we will start to write the main content. Change the paragraph, please. And please write. Bad banks is an institutional arrangement. Under which there are two institutions. Number one, National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited. National. How to memorize, bachcho? Just memorize the word national. Remaining part you know. Just write national. What is the next part? Asset Reconstruction Company. So simple. National Asset Reconstruction Company Limited. And in the bracket, please write NARCL. NARCL. Please put a dash and write. NARCL is an NBFC. Which is basically an ARC, Asset Reconstruction Company, which is basically an ARC. Full stop. Continue writing in the same paragraph. NARCL has split ownership. 51% is owned by public sector banks. 51% is owned by public sector banks, PSB, whereas 49% by private banks. It is the responsibility of NARCL to accept the NPA of the banks and provide 15% value of NPA, 15% value of NPA immediately to the concerned bank. To the concerned bank. For the remaining 85%, for the remaining 85%, NARCL provides security receipts. See this, guys? Security receipts, SR. 15% cash, and for the remaining part, security receipts. Just a piece of paper. Please put a full stop and then write. We'll continue the NARCL point only. Don't change the point. Please write NARCL transfers the NPA documents to IDRCL. Write the short form first. IDRCL. Now please write point number B. Point number B. Now let us write about IDRCL. Point number B. Point number A was NARCL. Point number B is IDRCL. So please write the full form. India Debt Resolution Company Limited. In the exam, you have to write the full form of this. India Debt Resolution Company Limited. India Debt Resolution Company Limited. Done, bacho? Let's write. IDRCL is basically an asset management company. Is basically an asset management company. An asset management company. In the bracket AMC. AMC. See, so far we have never written the definition of AMC. For the first time we are doing AMC. So we should also write in one line what is AMC. Hai? So please write AMC, same paragraph, same point. Don't change anything. Huh? AMC acts like a market maker. That's the definition. AMC acts like a market maker for shares and bonds of other organizations. Full stop, please. So, bacho, I'll dictate you more, but pehle I want to ask you a question. Suppose I am a company, my name is Infosys. I am finding it very difficult to sell my shares or bonds, but I do want to sell. Where do I want to sell? I want to sell it in private placement, right? I privately want to sell my shares. I don't want to bring IPO, etc. So privately, I'm looking for one or two partners in my company. I need huge amount of cash, but I don't know whom to contact. I'm confused. I can't go to SEBI because the moment I go to SEBI, SEBI will say, "Beta, come through underwriter, DRHP, then list your company in the stock exchange, and then you follow all the conditions. Then if you feel everything is fine, then IPO. And then you can sell your shares to whosoever you want." I don't want all this process. Why? Because I'm in a hurry. I badly need cash. Some urgency has happened. So can I sell some of my shares privately and tell somebody become my partner? Why not? Isme kya hai? I'm not harming anyone. I'm just saying that become my partner, give me cash. You will also sit in my office from tomorrow. SEBI gives this permission. So which market are we talking about? I've taught you this market. OTC. Brilliant. Brilliant. OTC. So can I sell my shares in OTC without bringing IPO? Why not? That is called as private placement. In fact, entire private placement happens in OTC. I've taught you this. So I am the boss of Infosys. Think about it. I am the boss of Infosys. And who has given permission to OTC to run in India? SEBI only. SEBI says it's fine. There will be one stock exchange. Everything outside stock exchange is OTC. SEBI says, I will never ban OTC because OTC does not mean illegal. OTC simply means SEBI will not be present. So what? Our parents are not present here when we are in Delhi. But have they put any restriction on us that don't go out, don't eat food. No, they have said that go attend the lectures, eat food, but make sure that don't eat too much of junk. So parents know that you are at high risk when you are staying away from parents. But why did they let you go out? Because they said if you don't explore the life and the world, how will you become strong? Aap hi batao. How will you become strong? You will not become strong. Why do you think that after every topic we do MCQs and answer writing? Because if I don't let you practice it, how will you become strong in answering? Fir to only I will keep on answering everything. I'll become strong in the subject, you will become weak. So after a point of time, I should stop. I should let you write the answers. I should let you solve the questions. Isliye this practice is important. After every topic, this is very, very important that you practice. Hai na? Parents do the same with you. So same thing is done by Government of India. That Government of India also says the same thing, and government says that if ARC goes in the market to sell the papers, the job of ARC is not to behave like a seller. The job of ARC is to accept the paper and check whether the value of the collateral is actually 100 crore. Where is the property located? Is the property fine? This thing they have to do. They are not management gurus. For that, you need a marketing team. So what will happen now? You have to create a marketing team, and this marketing team will take your paper and try to find out who is the best buyer. So you have to find out who is the best buyer for that, right? So its job is very fixed. Its job is take the paper from ARC and sell it. That's it. No other agenda. And who are good in selling things? Private companies. Go to private companies and you will realize they have innovative methods to sell. So how will you create the ownership of this company, asset management company? You will make sure that it is privately owned. Government presence will be 49%, private presence will be 51%. You study polity. Can I give you one funda? Ek funda de do extra. You understand there is something called as simple majority and there is something called as special majority. Special majority. To pass some of the bills in the parliament, you understand special majority is required. For strategic bills, and special majority would mean 2/3 of the members present and voting. Similarly, whenever decisions are taken in a company, there are two types of decisions. One simple, I have to change the curtain of the company. I have to paint the building. So simple or complex? Simple or strategic? Simple. So if 51% people are voting in the company and you understand who is owning this IDRCL, 51% private, 51% private and 49% government. So if you have to change the paint of this office of this building, so can the private directly decide, let me change the paint? Of course, they will have an office. They can do the beautification of the office on their own. But suppose this IDRCL, it has piece of paper which is shares of a shopping mall of a defaulter. I have taken a bank loan, I have defaulted, but these are my shopping mall papers with them. They have to sell it. This is owned by a private company, private bank. So this private bank says that this looks very nice, but why to wait? Sell it for lower price only. Because if we wait too much, our commission will stop. It's okay, we'll take less commission. Just sell it whatever price. Oh, sell it at a lower price. His price is 100 crore. And this guy is saying 51% owner of this bank, AMC. This is NBFC. So he's saying sell it at any price, like 30 crore, sell it. It's fine. We get less commission, but something to commission we'll get. And commission is in percentage. 30 crore guy, 10%. I'm happy. So he says sell it at a lower price. It's fine. Immediately, this 49% government will say, hold on, beta. This is not painting the office. It's a strategic decision. So special majority is required. Let's vote 2/3 majority. How can you have 2/3 majority with government 49%? It's not possible. So whenever you see that government is 49 and private is 51, don't think that it is by mistake. It is to prevent all those decisions which are strategic. It is to prevent the private sector from taking those decisions on their own. But if you give 78, 79, 80% majority to private sector, the strategic decision will also be taken by them. So that's why companies are created like this. This AMC is created in such a way that government will always have the say. And private sector knows it. And if private sector objects to it, government will say, why, what's there in your mind? Are you having any manipulative tendencies in the mind? Because only then you will object to it. Otherwise, there should be no problem. So for example, if your mom and dad tell you that, beta, we want to come to Delhi and stay with you for 1 week. And you are constantly telling, no, don't come in February, don't come. I have extra classes. Right? Extra classes? Why do you have extra classes? Take my name only. Right? Whatever you take in my name, it will be fine. Why? Because they know I call you for 2.5 hours and don't leave you for 4. Right? So my words have no value. All right. So you can tell this. People will believe also that he's calling for extra class. Everybody will believe this. So yes. So your friend is saying that's why I took your module. So that I can use it as an excuse in future. What are you going to do? When the classes will end, will you keep telling your parents that the classes are still going on? Look at you. Your friend, offline friend is saying, sir, I'll tell my parents that module has been converted into optional. Right? This sarcasm I get from everyone. So I have developed a thick skin. I listen to it normally only. And I know there will be one day when this sarcasm will go away. That day will be 3 days actually, prelims, mains and your interview day. And that day you will realize that everything you were doing was required. In some way, it helps. Your friend is saying, sir, please take extra class on Feb 4. Why do you want to destroy my life? Look at them. You're so heartless. Don't do that. Right? So, no, but on every 14th of Feb, I do take a class. Right? I do take a class. You will always see either I'll take a workshop or I'll take a class. Almost guaranteed. As of Wajirao is also interesting. Earlier they used to start their lectures like new batches on Feb 14th. Right? So I kept on wondering who decides the dates. Anyway, come back. So as I was telling you that whenever, ab dekho, you are smart kids, no? Whenever you see 51% government or 49% government, it should come in your mind, okay, government is 49, I know the reason. Because they don't want to give special majority powers to somebody. That's why 49. Acha, have we seen 49% elsewhere? Ek baar aur dekha, we have seen it elsewhere. Tell me where. FDI, multi-brand. 51% automatic. No, 51% government route. But in multi-brand retail, we have seen that the foreign company can have only 51% ownership, remaining 49%, they have to get it from the local Indian partner. Local Indian partner, 49% ownership is required, multi-brand retail. Why? Precisely for this, 2/3 majority. Because we know that if we give them full majority, 70-80% ownership to foreigners, they will do anything. We don't want that. So what do? We tell them, hold on sir, you are foreigner, have 51%. Indians will have 49, so that in future, if you are taking any decision against India, at least, yes, guarded approach, at least the government can rely upon the Indian partner to do good things. Otherwise, we will show through regulation, blacklist you, this, that, etc. So this 51% is never by mistake. It's always by design. So this is 51. Have we written this 5149? Look, please write. That IDRCL also has, don't change the paragraph, continue, same point. Point number B, IDRCL also has split ownership. Also has a split ownership. Please put a full stop. That is 51% of IDRCL. 51% of IDRCL is owned by private banks and 49% by public sector banks. Please put a full stop and then write IDRCL tries to sell. What is this? Very interesting. IDRCL tries to sell. Everything's fine. To sell the NPA to both domestic and foreign investors at highest possible price. 100 crore is the property. investors at the highest possible price. Please put a full stop. Both these NBFCs, change the paragraph. A and B point are done. Now we are writing generic points. Both these NBFCs together are called as bad banks. Bad banks. Because, so we are writing why they are called bad bank. Can you believe it? These type of questions are asked in UPSC. Why it is called bad bank? They will give you 3 options. Called as bad bank because they accept mostly those assets which are written off by banks, and banks consider them to be loss asset or bad asset. Loss asset or bad asset, which is practically difficult to recover. In other words, the bad banks, but this statement is important. In other words, the bad banks clean up the balance sheet. Balance sheet means where profit and loss is mentioned. They clean up the balance sheet of other banks. Full stop, please. So, bachcho, how many points have we done? Fatafat, please tell me. I'm going to write all the points for you. I want to see if you remember everything or not. Let's start with the first one. First was Lok Adalats. Second was litigation. Third, DRT. Very good. Fourth, SARFAESI. SARFAESI ke andar we have to write ARC, right? ARC. We wrote about ARC. So ARC was a point under this point. STR. Next point. AQR. Very nice. This we started to do today. Next one. Brilliant. Because from AQR only came 4R. Very nice. Next one. Brilliant. Recapitalization. Next one. S4A. Very good. Next one. Bad banks. Superb. Very nice. Which means, अब देखो how prelims questions are also asked. They might ask you a question in the prelims and say, which of the following steps were taken to clean up NPA in India? 4 options from here will be given. That's question 1. Second question will be, which of the following steps have been taken under AQR to clean up NPA? So whatever happened after AQR, we'll write all of them. It's as a common sense. Because first we wrote AQR, then we're writing all these things. So if UPSC will ask you which steps were taken under AQR framework, after AQR, everything happened after AQR only. Because this 4R came after AQR. Without AQR, there was nothing called 4R. So if they will ask you which steps have been taken because of AQR, so everything that we wrote after AQR should be written. Or if they ask you a question that discuss the 4R framework of India, that 4R strategy to handle NPA, how will you start that answer? 4R answer, context, AQR, brilliant. So the context of 4R, why 4R came? It came because of AQR. If there was no AQR, there was nothing called 4R. So if they will ask you, what is 4R? What will you write? So you will write that 4R emerged because of AQR, which was conducted by Dr. Rajan. So, and then you start to write under 4R, we have 4 R's, explain the 4R, the dictation which I gave you, and then you start writing all these things one by one. And this is all 4R. So we wrote about bad banks. And in bad banks, tell me the name of 2 institutions under bad bank, bacho. What is? First is NARCL and second is IDRCL. So which one out of them is management company, asset management company? Which? NARCL? IDRCL, okay. And which out of them is asset reconstruction company? NARCL. Who is the market maker? ID? Brilliant. Now let's come for prompt corrective action. I'll answer little late, but first please write this. Next point. What is the point number? 11th. Thank you. Please write point number 11. Prompt corrective action. Prompt corrective action. Chalo, let's write the first sentence because I've already told you the first statement. PCA was started in India. Prompt corrective action. I'll tell you the story, don't worry. PCA was started in India in 2002. In 2002. But it was made stronger. It was made stronger in 2017. In 2017. Right? Now let me tell you what is prompt corrective action framework so that you understand things in the right perspective. I'll tell you the criticism also. But first you answer a question, please. This is a bank. The bank has some sources of profit and the bank gives out loans. We know that if bank has given out 100 rupees loan, this we did in the first lecture of banking. When the bank gives out a loan of 100 rupees, remember, I drew 2 pictures. One is this guy, then 3 people there, and I said 900, they took 100 rupees taken by this guy. This is the example which I gave, I remember long time back. And then I taught you the concept of GNPA, net NPA, I taught you the concept of PCR, provisioning. All these concepts I taught you using this example only. This was ekdam initially, first lecture, where all these concepts are introduced. We are going back there. So now the question which I want to ask you is, and we criticize the provisioning norms also. We severely criticize them by saying, we took a pot shot at it. We said that suppose bank has given 100 rupees loan to this guy, this has become NPA, this money is coming back. The moment it becomes NPA, immediately RBI will jump and I will say, hey, this has become NPA, right? So do one thing, since it has become NPA, from your profit, take out 70% and keep it in a piggy bank from here. So 70 rupees you keep here, example. So what is your gross NPA? Gross NPA is 100. And your net NPA is equal to, 30. Because 100 is your NPA, 70 you have already made the provision. So net NPA is 30. But then we was saying that this doesn't look very logical. Why? Think about it now. That suppose this has become NPA and suppose that due to global and domestic condition, profit is also gone, which is very normal for a bank. That banks sometimes find it very difficult to get the profit. Why? Most of the people will refuse and say, I don't have money to give, which happened after 2005. Most of these people say, sorry, can't return. So entire money was becoming NPA. What is the bank's profit? A bank's profit comes from interest rates, or bank has invested the money elsewhere in some other bonds and shares. But suppose there is economic slowdown, so your profit has dried up and there is a problem here also. So now RBI will come and say, oh, it has become NPA. From your profit, please keep 70%. My profit is this much. So my profit is negligible, almost close to zero, close to zero. So what are you saying, 70% of zero? So what is the meaning of PCR? So that's why we realized that PCR might not be the best thing to judge. Why? Because PCR provisions are used when the problem has already happened. So what did Dr. Rajan do in India? He said over-dependence on PCR is not good. So he said that India already has a framework called as prompt corrective action. What is a prompt corrective action framework? He says that whenever you come to a bank, you can judge the performance of a bank based on some parameters, not one parameter, but collection of parameters. Like, ask this bank the first question that, sir, what's your profit? And if this bank says, my profit is very low, that Dr. Rajan said you should be worried. Because tomorrow if NPA will happen, if their profit is very low, how will they keep provisioning? So he said, for me, provisioning is not important. He said that's secondary. Provisioning comes from profit, so profit is important. Look at this guy. He says, focus here, not here. There is zero profit. What is the meaning of 70%? 70% of zero is zero. So he said, the way we are looking at bank is wrong. So first he said, look here. Number two, he said, we have studied this in the class, capital adequacy ratio or CRAR. Capital to risk weighted asset ratio. So this is capital to risk weighted asset ratio and this is capital adequacy ratio, same ratio, two names. I gave you a formula. Fatapat, please tell me the formula. T1 plus T2 by RWA. Cool. So Dr. Rajan was saying, very nice. Dr. Rajan said, come to this bank and ask them what is their CRA. That's the second thing that you should ask. Because if a bank is giving loan blindly like crazy, but their CRA is very low and the loans are risky. So suppose I am giving loan to business community. Economic slowdown is already there. And my profit condition, I know that profit of the bank is going to go down. So then my focus should not be PCR. My focus should be, beta bank, you are giving so much of loan. Economic condition is not good. But most of your loan will be risky. Since most of your loan will be risky, I would like to see what's your numerator. Because most of your loan, 100 plus 900, it's coming in the denominator now. Everything is risky. Economic slowdown. So Dr. Rajan says, when there is a slowdown condition, risk is almost 100%. Entire loan becomes risky. So he says, whatever loan you have given, put it here. And tell me what is your tier 1 plus tier 2. The bank will say, but sir, you know, according to me, the risk was, remember guys, I taught you the risk. So that day I told you that the risk was 82 crore. We calculated. But 82 crore was the risk when economy was healthy. And based on this 82 crore, the banks are keeping 8%. And India, they are keeping 9%. Elsewhere, 8%. So Dr. Raghuram Rajan said, no, but this has changed. During economic crisis, this should change. Why didn't you change it? So the bank said, because I calculated it. He said, no. That's before the crisis situation. Now crisis has just started, problem has started. Change it, please. Your denominator will change. 82 will become 100. So this will also change. So earlier this was 8% or India 9%. 9% of 82. It was there 9% of 82. But now it will be 9% of 100 because entire loan has become difficult. So he says, I want to know what you have done. Banks are very clever. They were not changing this. So see what Dr. Rajan is doing. He's catching all those formulas and mathematical parts where manipulation is possible. That's why I told you that this guy is different. Everybody was after the bank. What is your profit? No. Everybody was after the bank. That what is your provisioning? Dr. Rajan says, sorry, not interested. Tell me your profit. And after the profit, tell me whether you have updated your RWA or not. Right? So suppose that you are talking to somebody every day from 9 p.m. to 3 a.m. in the morning, every day. And suppose one day the person did not pick the phone call. Right? So what happened? Bad? No, nothing. 2 days doesn't pick the phone call. 3 days doesn't pick. 4 day picks. And now this becomes a pattern. Red flag, green flag. Super red flag. How do you understand? Red flag. Now it has become a pattern. So you should update your contact list and say this person is dangerous. So remove that person from speed dial. There is no point. Our cricketers know it. Samajh rahe ho aap? There is always a red flag. That picture was the red flag. Now come back, please. So here, when your profit is down, so when you all fine? So here you have the profit. Profit is down. Since the profit is down, Dr. Rajan comes here and says, beta, profit is down, matlab economy is undergoing crisis, update it. Why didn't you update? Red flag. So look at this guy. 2 problems sorted. Third problem, Dr. Rajan comes here and says, I need to know what is your leverage ratio. We banks forgot leverage ratio. Bata do bachcho, you remember it, leverage ratio. High quality. High quality. Assets in 30 days. Okay, fine. The bank obligation for 30 days. Right? Now, what is high quality I taught you? All of 4. So, which means this cash, then treasury bills, government securities, excess. Brilliant. Now, there is one more ratio which I taught you. And that ratio had something in the numerator, which is a very special kind of capital. Brilliant answer. So I taught you one more ratio, where I told you that in the numerator, a very special capital is mentioned. And in the denominator, the asset of the bank is mentioned. Jaldi bataiye, what is that ratio? I taught you 2 ratios, and I told you leverage ratio. The first answer that you gave was liquidity coverage ratio. And the question which I asked you was leverage ratio. Again, today you gave the right answer for a different question. But at least you are giving right answer. My question was never liquidity coverage ratio. I remember I asked the question leverage. And all of you gave the answer of liquidity coverage ratio. So he started the answer. Entire class online or offline joined you. Right? This is Mazedar, very nice. But at least we remember the formulas. The only thing that will happen in future is with practice, you will know which formula to use where. Sometimes when you have too many formulas, you know too many people. Sometimes you get confused in their names. Which one to call? You call person A and say, hello person B, how are you? I am person A. It happens. At your age, it happens. I am Stone Age, so it doesn't happen to me. Right, so first I told you something which is called as liquidity coverage ratio. You gave the right formula. You said liquidity coverage ratio is equal to, repeat the formula please, HQLA, high quality liquidity asset divided by 30 days of obligations. Cool. Leverage ratio, brilliant. Leverage ratio is T1 upon total assets. So what is the meaning of that? It means that out of your total assets, what is the asset of a bank? Loan. So whenever you give loan, and the entire loan is dangerous. So RBI would like to know how much T1, brilliant, how much T1 you have kept. Normally it is 3%, minimum to 3% you have kept. So but during crisis, what will RBI do? Will RBI say 3% or will make it to 4? 4. RBI will say no, keep more in T1. So the next ratio which RBI is interested here is liquidity ratio, leverage ratio. So in the leverage ratio, RBI says T1 upon total assets. RBI says, tell me about this. And if this bank says total assets, sir, my total asset is 100 plus 900, 1000 rupees is my loan. So RBI says, how much have you kept in T1? So this bank will say, sir, 1000 ka 3% I have got 30 rupees. RBI says no, because this has become dangerous. Entire loan has become dangerous. Increase it. Do you see what this guy is doing? So Dr. Rajan is going to all the points which can lead to a potential bank failure. And he's attacking those points which he feels is the best type of capital, and he's saying increase it. So he did not go to liquidity coverage ratio because liquidity coverage ratio is HQLA by 30 days. HQLA means the money that you use to buy government bonds, treasury bills, etc. But when you are a bank, you are not having profit. How will you buy that? So he says, don't do it. Tier 1 is the best capital. Why do you bring government in between? You are the owner of the bank, you put money from your side. Because when you go to government and say, give me bond, during crisis, why will government sell bond? Government says, why should I sell bond? Because I'll have to pay interest rate. So government says, I don't sell bonds. Then what will you do? Then you have to put money from your own side. And if you can't put money from your own side, why did you open a bank? So you have to now. So see what Dr. Rajan is doing. Dr. Rajan says, beta, bring this money first, number 1. Number 2, update this. And number 3, if you are not having profit, फिर तो I will do something else. So bank said, what will you do, sir? So this is what Dr. Rajan did. He says, if you are not having profit, all these things first I'll check, and then I will put a ban over you. No new appointments, no new opening of ATM, no branch expansion, and RBI will sit in your office and will manage your company. That power RBI has taken now under the RBI Act 1934 and Banking Regulation Act 1949. RBI has made amendments and said, now I will manage your bank till the time I feel your profit is back. So I will not hurt you. I will not convert you into a government company. I will make sure that your risky behavior is minimized. Because when you become risky, the people who deposited money, they will face the problem. And we have seen that when people lose their deposit, they commit suicides also. Because India is not a rich country. This we cannot tolerate. So RBI says, I will come here and I will try to manage your bank also. Not because I have to convert or do anything else, but I have to make you healthy, because we can't tolerate 5,000 suicides just because a bank has been doomed. We have to be careful. It is human lives which is involved. It's not just money. It's so many things. People put their money for treatment, for education, for the marriage of the child, old age pension. So many things are involved. So that is called as a prompt corrective action. So did you see, remember yesterday also I was telling you something about Dr. Rajan, that he's very careful and he's very articulative in his arguments. He goes about formulas very well. He's very precise. So everybody was saying, focus on PCR. He was saying useless. Focus on profit, focus on those things. So let's do it now. Then I'll tell you something more about it also, what he has done. So please write. Change the paragraph. You have just written the introduction of prompt corrective action. Let's write the details. Please write. Currently, so I'm giving you the current framework, okay? So please write, currently, PCA evaluates the following four parameters. Of a bank to identify the risk. Number one, CAR, capital adequacy ratio, CAR. So full form you have already written. CAR or CRAR. Same thing, CAR or CRAR. If you want to write एक लिख लो, full form in the bracket already written, but ठीक है, please write capital 2 risk weighted asset ratio. That's the actual name. Capital 2 risk weighted asset ratio. ये तो shortcut. Capital 2 risk weighted asset ratio. So that's the first thing that RBI looks into. Second, please write net NPA. Net NPA is also evaluated. Please write net NPA is also evaluated to find asset quality. Third, the profit of the bank is reviewed. The profit of the bank is reviewed. And fourth, the leverage ratio is also evaluated. Change the paragraph and please write the first three parameters. First three means what? Capital adequacy ratio, net NPA and profitability. The first three parameters have been used since 2002. But currently leverage ratio is also examined. Leverage ratio is also examined. So basically, if you want to know precise contribution of Dr. Rajan, that's the fourth point. He said that this should also be inserted here because it gives you an idea about T1, and T1 is the most important capital. Now, please take the paragraph, bacho, and please write, if, very important, bacho, this paragraph, next paragraph is very crucial. Please write, if these ratios of a bank, if these ratios of a bank are underperforming, based on RBI norms. RBI norms means RBI rules, based on RBI norms. Put a comma and please write. Then RBI puts these banks in PCA framework. Under this framework, matlab PCA framework, RBI puts restrictions on recruitments, bank branches, important management decisions, and even day-to-day operations. I'll tell you the meaning. Even day-to-day operations. So, bacho, the moment the name of the bank comes in the PCA framework, immediately RBI will say, bank, no new appointments, number one, no new branches, no ATMs, no debit card and credit card issue. You cannot do all those things. You have to stop. And whatever you have already done. And now then RBI says, I want to appear in your management and make the things normal. Then I will allow you to have everything. So please put a full stop and write. RBI, same paragraph, RBI tries to improve the management and once the four parameters recover and become healthy, the bank is taken out from the PCA framework. Done. Very nice. So for prelims, what will you memorize? The four parameters. For prelims, please memorize the four parameters because you have to keep it in mind. Chale, falafel, please tell me what's the first parameter? CAR. Second parameter, guys, online. Second parameter? NPA or net NPA? Net NPA. Third parameter? Fourth parameter? Leverage ratio. What is leverage ratio numerator? T1 or T2? Or T1 plus T2? T1. In the denominator? Total loans called as assets. So we'll call it as total assets. Brilliant. Now this one, which is insolvency and bankruptcy code. Dekho, there are 2-3 methods of teaching this insolvency and bankruptcy code. One is a method after which we'll keep on wondering what was there actually. Theoretical way. Theoretical way would mean that we keep on speaking, and we have no idea where we went. There is a second way. Step by step, we see what actually happens and why it happens. Step-wise manner, like an algorithm. So we will adopt the stepwise manner. It becomes easy for us because this is competitive exams. You have to write things in a very clear-cut manner. only stories with no hierarchy, no points, it will not fetch marks. And this is a potential question of the exam. Isliye we'll be very careful about it. And you have to study it only the way in which I'm teaching you. So please don't change, huh? Don't refer to any other source for this, because other sources are not wrong. But what they do is they complicate this, I don't know why. So we'll keep it simple. This structure, don't draw this structure in the class, because I have told you about 2-3 things which I will bring in the class on the test day. I will bring blank handouts where all the boxes will be there. One box which I told you that you will have to draw, I've already put in the handout. That is NPA wala handout. So in the NPA, I have kept the blank boxes. You have to fill it in the class. When I give you the handout, you have to do it. And to my online students, I'll give you the handout one day before so that you can take the printout and next day we'll do it. The second one is this only. This I want to give you in the class so that blank boxes, I'll make you fill. I'll open it and you write it so that you are able to memorize. Because if a full-fledged question comes on IBC, you will have to draw this. It's very scary, but you will have to do it. So that's why I want you to practice. And this is easy to memorize. Like I have memorized the entire IBC using this. It's so easy. I will show you how easy it is. So what is insolvency and bankruptcy code? Listen to it carefully. Now imagine, bachcho, that I am a company. Let me start my story like this. Suppose that I am a company, and I'll give you the technical terms slowly. I am a company. I have taken loan from a bank. This is a bank. This bank has given me loan. Now I straight away tell this bank that, bank, I will pay you EMIs for next 30 years. I promise you. I have taken huge amount. I'll pay EMIs to you. Don't worry. But then I defaulted. And this has become NPA. So now what this bank can do is, this bank can come to me and tell me here that I'm going to capture the collateral of your company. I'll say, which collateral? So the bank says, this building, which you put in front of me, the papers. I'm going to capture the collateral and I'm going to give it to bad bank. Because you are saying you won't be able to do, because you have a business loss. Then I'll say, sorry sir, you can't. So this bank says, wait, why? We can go to bad bank by taking your company. You are a fair guy. You are saying you won't be able to pay the EMIs. It's fine. You are being honest. There's nothing to hide. Yes, people suffer loss. Big deal. So what is wrong here? Why can't I give your company to bad bank? Then I tell them that, sir, one problem is, just like you gave me loan, there are many parties who gave me raw material. Raw material for my business. I was converting plastic into pen, tomatoes into tomato ketchup. So many things I was doing inside this. Packaging material, branding material, raw material, electricity bill. I have not been able to pay any of these. So then this bank will say, wait. Then to your NPA is not just this amount, 100 crore. Your NPA is not 100 crore. This is 100 plus this also. Because you have not paid for this. I'll say, yes, sir. Then they ask me, what happened to you? I'll say, competition happened. More tomato ketchup came from Tata's, big brands. I was not able to compete because I didn't have much money to hire Shah Rukh Khan, Amitabh Bachchan for advertisement. Plus, market situation changed. Demonetization happened. GST happened. So many things, sorry, like I couldn't succeed. I'm changing my business. In future, I will see. So now this bank is saying, so how will I take your collateral now? Because there are more claimants to the collateral. Do you see the problem? There are more claimants now. So these people who have given money to the bank, they are called as financial creditors. Financial creditors. Why? Because they have given money which is direct loan to the bank. Then there are some people who are called as operational creditors. What do operational creditors help you with? They provide you raw material so that your company can operate. So day-to-day functioning, there are two creditors of a company, financial and operational. Now both are claiming the same asset. This guy gave you raw material thinking that you have a company, you will be able to return the money. This guy gave you money because you put the company as collateral here. But they also need the money back. I mean, how can you say that I will not give the money? So Government of India got confused with what to do. So they created a framework called as Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Under Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, there would be 3 parties now. Careful, okay? 3 parties. What is the first party? So the first party is the company itself, that's the first party. The second party is the financial, and third party is the operational creditor. But can you reclassify them in two categories only? Bahut easy, very easy. One is the company and the second is creditors. And this is the company. Two parties. Inside creditor, there are two types, right? And can I tell you on the onset only what UPSC did? UPSC asked a question that two questions have been asked and more questions will be asked in future. So the two questions that were asked in UPSC was, when the company recovers the money, who gets the money first? Right? This was asked in UPSC. So there are only two people who need the money, financial and operational. According to you, who should get the money first? Financial. Because unless the financial gave you money to buy machines, why will you buy tomato ketchup? And this financial is a bank. If the raw material supplier is doomed, one company is doomed. But if a bank is doomed, entire economy is doomed. So that's why the rule is, first of all, you return the money of financial creditors. Then you return the money of operational creditor. That's the logic. That's why I told you now, 5,000 people committing suicide. What is the need of mentioning these things in the class? Because I want you to memorize these things. That if a bank is doomed, the bank makes loss, or bank is wiped out, it's never a bank. It's like the life and future of so many individuals who is connected to the bank. I have put my deposits in the bank, bank is gone. Bank says, I can't return the money. What will I do? My whole future depends on that deposits. So 5,000, 10,000 people, customer base, there will be mass suicides. We can't let that happen. We don't want loss for them also. That's why we are involving them as well. But if it comes to sequence, the sequence is they will get the money first. That was the first question which I asked in UPSC. There was another question asked. The next question which was asked was, whenever this type of situation arises, who has the power to go to Government of India and say, government, help? Who goes to the Government of India for help? So can this guy go, this go, this go, or all of them have the power to go to government and say, please help? Who do you think should get the power? What if the company is very honest and says, I know I have a problem. So if you don't give the power to them and tell them, you can't go, only when the financial creditor feels there is a problem, then only government will be involved. This guy is saying, I know I have a problem. I'm being honest, I have the problem, help. All the three, they have the power. When did that happen? When Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code came in 2016, the bill, the code, whatever is there, was not like this. There were many loopholes. Over a period of time, these things were refined. So whatever I'm telling you is the current form. But when in 2016 it started, it was not like this. So every year there used to be one new point and UPSC used to ask this. That's what they do. When will you find the next new point? In the new economic survey and budget. So what you need to do before your prelims, around the month of March, April, you will see, we won't have our classes at that time, but I told you, I make the videos very late. Like I take time to make the videos. So I'll put these information, whatever extra information, every year I do it, like without fail. So I'll put it on the Wajiram YouTube channel. So you open the new economic survey and budget videos, and there you will see that there will be one video where updates will be mentioned. The topics will also be mentioned, at what topic I'm covering in that video. So wherever you see that topic which is related to money and banking, money, banking, inflation, etc., open that video and check if I'm saying something related to IBC. Is it okay? This is how you update yourself in future. This is the continuous support that you will get. So after your course is over also, if you want to update, it will be very simple. I don't know. Right, come back. So, abhi seekh lo, learn it. Your friend is asking, when will be the last class? Come on. So, learn it. I told you it depends on you. So, for example, the faster you learn, the faster. So, iske baad I'll teach you the mathematical parts of budget, etc., etc. So, if you are more focused, obviously it will be over very soon. But if you ask me to repeat anything, I will repeat, and it will take time. Depends on you. I'm not in hurry. I will teach you till the point you answer questions. So, come back. And by the way, there is one more thing which I've already told you, that you are doing a preparation for prelims and mains. Mains preparation is very time taking. Mains answer writing is very time taking, because you remember, understanding these things, when I explain it in the class, hardly 10 minutes. Writing takes 25 minutes. So in the understanding part, I will never cut short the time. Those 10-15 minutes which I take to explain, I will never cut short. But if you want to do it fast, you know what will be compromised? The writing. But then you will have to do it again with somebody else before your mains. And that will hurt you. So don't do that. Do it at one go, complete. So come back. So what did I tell you? Dekho, itna simple, so simple. So what is happening here? There is a financial creditor, there is an operational creditor. Now what is happening is, both of them are giving cash. So Government of India told them, by you, all three of you, whosoever wants, go to the Government of India and tell them that I'm not able to recover my money. You tell that you are not able to recover the money. Or if the company is very honest, company should go to the government and say, government, I can't return the money. There are two types of companies. One which is run by individuals and group of friends. Suppose, bacho, I have a company, chotu company. Or suppose you and I together become partners and we start a company, partnership company. On one hand, there are these type of companies, like startups, partnership companies. On the other hand, there will be very, very big companies, like those who are listed in stock exchange, and big corporates like Infosys, Tatas, etc. So do you believe that the system of resolution of both the companies should be same? If I'm a very small company, why do you need to put me in a very difficult framework? You can put me in a small framework, because what will be my net worth? What will be my value in the market? 2 crore, 3 crore. But if you bring Tata's ka value will be 60,000 crore, 1 lakh crore is the value of the company. So when they take loan, the loan is also like this. And when a small company takes loan, my capacity is also like this. So since my capacity of taking loan was small, if I'm a small company, don't put me under rigorous things. By putting me under a small framework also, you'll get the result. So which means there are two different channels through which resolution will happen here. One is for private companies who are individual companies, absolutely very individual or partnership oriented. Second will be corporates. Big companies will be there. So two channels will open. So suppose that this guy, this guy, this guy, there are three people. So there is this company. Company is of two types. So first is bank. This bank gave cash, and these are raw material supplier called as operational creditors. So this company or this guy, these three go to the bank and say, go to the government and say, government, sorry, this problem has happened, can you help? So Government of India will ask the first question, that who are you? Who is this company? Is this company a small company, big company, corporate? So if it's individual based company or partnership based company, then you put it under DRT. But if it's a corporate, NCLT. So now what happens? I'll tell you all the full forms, don't worry. National Company Law Tribunal. But just remember the short form first, because if I start to write the full form, it will become clumsy and you won't be able to understand. So this or this, if this company is a small company, individual based company or group of friends, then they will go to DRT. If that's a big corporate, then they come here. The moment you go to respective organizations like this, then what they will do is they will say that give all the documents of the company to us, give all the documents to us. Documents surrendered. Once the document is surrendered, then both of them, which means these two documents will be sent here. So there is one professional called as insolvency professional, for example. So let's call it as IP. So the document comes here. When the document comes here, there are two types of people. The first set of person is that person who gets the file from here, the file goes here, and evaluation is made that currently what is the asset value of the company currently. Because they have chartered accountants, they have lawyers, they have financial experts, they have economists, everybody sits there in the office. They will evaluate the file. After evaluation, the report is sent to them. There is another professional here. So report is sent to them. This professional is called as interim insolvency professional. And this guy is called as insolvency professional. Here the extra word is added called interim. And wherever you add the extra word interim, that means till the problem is solved, this guy is in control. Interim. Interim means intermediate time period. So when the file from these two places come here, it is evaluated that what is the current value of the asset, and then that file is given to these people. They will say that now we are going to operate this company. So company is not shut down. Company will be operated now. So what is the first thing which is very striking, which appeals you here? The first striking thing which appeals you under insolvency is the first effort of the insolvency agency is not to shut down the company. It is to run the company so that you can save it if possible. So who will be these people? These are the people who are very good in their finance, very good in law, and very good in management. But these people are only good in calculation. These people are very good in management. So when the calculation paper comes here, they say, oh, this is the company. We have seen it. Now we are going to run the company. They will run the show. When they run the company, after a few days, they will bring two creditors. One is financial creditor and one is operational creditor. These two together will be called as Committee of Creditors, COC. It's a committee. So now Committee of Creditors plus this interim professional, these two will sit together. Company is already running. Obviously it is making loss. In one day you cannot make the company profitable, but they have kept the company alive. So now when the creditors are there, this interim insolvency professional tell this Committee of Creditor that, sir, it's your money. You're also. So together you conducted discussion and voting in the same proportion in which you have given the money. So if you have given 50 crores, you have given raw material worth 50 crore, 50-50 votes. So in the same proportion in which you have given money to this company, in that proportion only, you will get the voting rights. Now you decide whether you want to save the company. If you want to save the company, I'll run it for some time and I'll bring it back to health. And I will share the plan with you. But if you want to sell the company, I'll sell it immediately. We'll find a buyer, strategic buyer, we'll sell it. But our first effort, and you never sell the company like this, you always sell the assets. One machine sold, building sold, land sold. But if you do it like that, you'll get very less amount. So they tell these people that, sir, ultimately it's your money. How can we decide for you? You decide. Then they say, okay, we will decide. So is there a fixed outcome? Depends. If you gave raw material, I am the bank, I gave money. If both of us come to the conclusion, no, sell it, then sell it. But generally what has been seen, that these interim professionals, they're so good, they're so damn good in their job, that 90% of the time they will try to make the company survive. And they will say, if the company survives, sir, you will get money also, and in future business also. So this is what is done. This entire mechanism is insolvency and bankruptcy code. I broke it down for you to the minimum possible level without first showing you the deadly structure. Now let me show you the deadly structure. I deliberately use the terms with which you are familiar. Now let me show you the real terms which you have to use in the exam. And I will bring this flowchart in the class, blank boxes. Abhi dictation, so I'll give you proper dictation, but I'll bring blank boxes in the class on the test day and I'll show you that on the board. You will have to fill it. One time practice you have to do in front of me. So, see, there is one change which happened after COVID. The government of India realized that there are many companies. Just one change happened, current affairs. There is operational creditor, financial creditor. Whenever NPA used to happen, 91st day, if you don't make the payment, it becomes NPA. Immediately this bank used to run to government and say, government, sell the company. So government said, what are you doing? Even for 1 lakh rupees you are coming and you are saying sell the company. What is this? A lot of time, effort, money is wasted in doing these negotiations. So government said, no, frivolous complaints are coming. 5 lakh rupees, 10,000 rupees, you are going to the government and saying sell the company. So government said, wait. Currently, they have kept the minimum amount of 1 crore, which means when there is a company which defaults, at least 1 crore rupees of a bank plus raw material supplied together. Minimum default should be at least 1 crore. Then you can go under the process currently. Why did the government put a 1 crore amount? Because government said people are coming for 10,000 rupees. And the money that you need to pay to these chartered accountants and insolvency professionals, their fee is 5 lakh rupees. So 5 lakh rupee fee and 10,000 recovery. So government said not possible. And by the way, if you frankly ask me, if you are doing a chartered accountancy or somebody in your known circle is doing that, they are from commerce background. One of the most rewarding careers these days is insolvency professionals. You cannot match their fee because they are in huge demand and the number of professionals in India is very less. Because specialized training institutes are there for them. So if somebody is studying commerce, doing their CA, studying finance, if you do this as your side career or side kicks, suppose that with your main career you are doing a degree or a specialization in this, you have no idea how your future will turn out to be. Because these are the people in great demand. Why? Their exams are tougher. Obviously, because you are deciding the future of somebody. So exams will be tough, like UPSC. Anything which is worth achieving in life is tough. Anything which looks very easy will put you on the easy track in future as well, which means you won't be able to achieve big things if you are on an easy track. So this exam will be super tough. I doubt if I'll be able to crack this exam if I don't study. So even I need to sit with huge books and study for 6 months, then I'll be able to crack it. Otherwise, even I can't crack because nobody knows what they will ask you. A lot of future of the company is in their hand. Very tough exam, but worth it. So, and you know why I feel that this is the future of India and this profession will do well? Because India is a developing country. Now, slowly there will be more companies in India. Abhi to company culture has started because we are new to this culture. So there will be lakhs and lakhs of manufacturing has started now. So when there will be more companies, there will be more failures also. And when there will be more failures, you need people to save them, not to destroy them. If you just rely upon ARC, they will destroy you, they will sell you out. And their job is not to sell, their job is to make them healthy and try till the last time, that last breath, that let me save if possible. That's what they do. That's why they charge huge amount. So let's come back and see fatafat. So at least your minimum default amount should be 1 crore. Then who can initiate this process? Creditor and debtor both. Creditor means operational and financial, and debtor is the company which defaults. Now, they can apply for the insolvency. Who is the adjudicating authority? If you are partnership or individual, DRTs. And if you are a corporate national company, law tribunal, NCLT. Then what do? These NCLT and DRT, they do not sort out the matter in their hand. What they do is they check all the legalities. They will do a thorough check that whether it is a false case, right case, all the legalities checked. And once they put the signature, the process becomes legal. Now you cannot reverse it. It goes to the next stage. So this NCLT and DRT, they have the power to appoint 2 bodies. One is interim insolvency professional and second is insolvency professional. Insolvency professional, see what have I written? Assess the financial position of the company. They find out the real value of the asset and how to save the company basically. They try to find out, is it possible to save? They will write everything in the report because they are a chartered accountants and lawyers and financial experts. These are the people who have the training to run companies. So they are chartered accountant, lawyers, plus a group of people who have training of management as well. So what will they do? They will control the company for some time. When they feel that the company is in their control, they know everything about the company, the production, everything. Production will continue few days. Then they will create this committee of creditors. They will bring those 2. This will be brought here. And they will say, sir, please come. Now let us decide whether you want to bring this company back to life or you want to sell. The liquidate means sell. Restructure means bring changes in the company so that company can survive. You have something in mind, like there is a raw material supplier also. Would you like to supply some raw material, and bank, would you like to give some cash? And then they say that we are ready to run this company for some time so that the company comes back to life. Do you want to do that? So they will decide what they want to do. They have full freedom to decide because it is backed by these two authorities. These are the legal authorities, and they are writing to these professionals that whatever they decide, creditors, it will be final. But they always suggest that till the time possible, let us save. If not possible, then only sell. All clear? This is your insolvency and bankruptcy code. If you want, you can make it complex. I told you this. For every theory, it is possible. It is possible to remove everything from the board and then create it in such a way that for half an hour, you will have no clue what is happening. And then this way, this is exam wala way. I'm not saying this is the best. Somebody can give you a better method also. It is possible. In academics, it is always possible. In sports, academics, it is possible. But the question that we need to ask ourselves is, can we answer questions in the exam from here? 100% we can. I can write 3 pages on this just by looking at this. I matlab we together. And we can also answer MCQs using this. There is nothing which is not there. One problem is there. If they ask you some data that tell us how much money was recovered, which company was saved, etc. That data is given only in economic survey every year. There is a page in economic survey which mentions all that data. Every year there is a page like that. Matlab guaranteed. So this year also there will be that page. So I will tell you how you can get that information from me. I'll tell you all these things. So you need not worry, that support you will get. Right? So whatever current affairs will happen in future, till your interview, you will have access to that kind of support through the YouTube videos which I create every year. So you can totally rely upon that. Chaliye, please write. Please write some basic concepts. Likhiye bachcho. Please give a small title, some basic concepts related to companies. Some basic concepts related to companies. Yes, this is insolvency and bankruptcy code. What is this point? Point number 12. Point number 12. So we are writing insolvency and bankruptcy code is the title. Insolvency and bankruptcy code IBC 2016 is your title. Inside that title, I am giving you some extra information. Likh lijiye, some additional information related to companies. Some basic information related to companies. Extra, huh? Let's write. Insolvency and bankruptcy code is your title, and additional information we are writing just for knowledge. So please write. A company can have, point number 1, additional information. Point number 1, a company can have 2 types of creditors. 2 types of creditors. Number A, financial creditor. Who provide loans and capital, who provide loans and capital to the company. And operational creditor, so operational creditor is point number B. Operational creditor who provide raw material, and other inputs like machines. Next point. Point number 2. The company can be a basic company. The company can be a basic company. Managed by individuals. Or group of individuals. That is partnership. or it can be a corporate. It can be a corporate. Which has dominant presence in the market. It can be a corporate which has dominant presence in the market, मतलब big presence in the market. Next point. Before IBC 2016, before IBC, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, before IBC 2016, when the companies went in losses, when the companies went in loss, the general trend was to sell the asset of the company. To sell the asset of the company. That is liquidate. That is liquidate. Liquidate means to sell the asset. That is to liquidate the assets. But IBC, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, IBC 2016, changed that culture. Now the effort is to save the company. To save the company. Only in extreme case, the company is liquidated. Next point. Currently, that is after COVID, the minimum default amount which can be taken under IBC should be 1 crore. Should be 1 CR, 1 crore. Right, bacho? Please put a full stop now. So your basics are over. Now we are going to write the working of IBC. Please write working of IBC. Working of IBC. Let's write point wise. It becomes easy to memorize. Point number one, please write. Minimum default amount is equal to 1 crore. Write it, please. Minimum default amount is equal to 1 crore. For IBC. Minimum default amount is equal to 1 crore for IBC. Next point. Point number second. Creditor and debtor. Creditor and debtor. Debtor means the company. Creditor and debtor both can initiate the insolvency process. Insolvency process. Insolvency means that the company has reached a stage where it can neither repay the loan, nor operate. Full stop. Bachcho, what is zombie firm? They are not able to repay, but they are able to operate. And what is insolvent firms? Neither repay nor operate. You see the difference? Now you can use these terms nicely. Zombie is what, insolvency is what. Brilliant. Now please put the full stop and write the third point. Please write. The partnership, third bullet, please write. The partnerships or individual based companies have to apply, the partnership or individual based company have to apply for insolvency. This is the word, see, for insolvency under DRT, Debt Recovery Tribunal. I've already taught you DRT, huh? Under DRT. Whereas, in the same point, whereas the big companies and corporates, apply to NCLT. In the bracket you can write National Company Law Tribunal. National Company Law Tribunal. Next point. The DRT and NCLT. The DRT and NCLT appoint two professionals. Point number A, insolvency professional, in the bracket IP, insolvency professional, IP, huh? Please put a dash and write IP, मतलब insolvency professionals review the financial status of the company. Financial status of the company. And pass the report to another professional called as IIP, double IP. Number B, please write. So now we will write about IIP. Huh? This is IIP. So please write interim insolvency professional. Interim. See? Interim insolvency professional. Remember, I told you these are the people who run the company. Interim insolvency professional. Please write IIP controls the asset of the company. And establish committee of creditors, in the bracket COC, committee of creditors. COC contains both FC, financial creditor, and OC, operational creditor. Committee of creditor contains, so you can write this formula actually, committee of creditor is equal to financial creditor plus operational creditor. ऐसे लिख लो formula. This can be asked in UPSC prelims, because I told you questions are being asked from here. So COC is equal to FC plus OC. Please put a full stop. Next point, please write. The real power to decide whether to restructure the company, or liquidate is in the hands of COC, Committee of Creditors. Write a note, and if you have a highlighter, please highlight it, because for this, fortunately, we will have our lecture this year during the time of the budget and survey. So whenever I see that update related to at least this insolvency and bankruptcy code, and updates happen every year, so it has to come, I will give you that page and I'll mark whatever is the update so that you will know numbers. Pata hai kya hoga, what will be there in the update? Name of the companies will be mentioned, how many cases have been recovered, how much money has been made. Basic facts will be there, nothing else. And if possible, this 1 crore might change. And the government might bring some new figure that instead of minimum 1 crore, something else. These are the only changes that happen, nothing else will change. So please write a note that update the facts from Economic Survey 24. Update the facts from Economic Survey 24. Jaise, for example, which facts do we need to update? Let's write one fact so that your eyes will be there. Achha, these are the facts. Example, because these you will get in survey only. Example, when the company is liquidated, matlab sold, the first claim on capital belongs to, bacho, who has the first claim? Financial creditor. First claim on capital belongs to financial creditor, FC. Actually, this came in Economic Survey. That's how I got to know about it. Because newspapers sometimes miss these points, but Economic Survey will not miss these points. Full stop, please. So if I find anything like this, since I will make a video anyway, so I'll put it in the form of a handout and give it to you. And remaining part, you will have to see the videos. Because I told you why I won't be able to cover. Because when I started the program, I knew that survey will come, and the problem will be that I'm covering the last 2 years of survey with you. If you check last 2 years of survey, all the points are there in the class. It's just that I take more time to complete the current survey. By that time, it will be April. And even for Waziram, I do it like that. I take my own sweet time. So, aram se I do it, but the content that you'll get at the end will be highly filtered. So, but for that, time is required. Anyway, so I think we have completed 99% of this. And that 1% which I told you is for, that 1% which I told you, the public sector banker turnaround, which is one extra thing which we have to do this year. And we have to put efforts in that for mains and prelims both. So just write a question. Tomorrow we'll start from here. So agenda for tomorrow is this. Then agenda for tomorrow is cooperative banks and a few things which I want to do with you extra. So please write public sector bank reforms. Just give a title. Yes, IBC is complete. Only data has to be updated from survey. Insolvency and bankruptcy code is complete. That diagram I'll provide you in the class through my handouts. Public sector bank reforms. Public sector bank reforms. Please write 2 questions. Take लीजिए. PMC, if you ask me, the performance is decent, because if you look at all the recoveries, the highest recovery last year, till last year, highest recovery from all the companies through liquidation happened through IBC, Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. The second highest recovery happened through other DRTs and ARC. And the third highest recovery happened through Lok Adalats. That's the performance till 2023. So whatever recovery happened in India, when some defaulters are there, they are not able to pay the money to bank. So the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code gave the best performance last year, followed by the DRT, separate DRTs, SARFAESI, etc. So second performance was SARFAESI. So first was this Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. The second performance was SARFAESI, ARC and DRT separately, other than this, which I taught you initially. So number one, you can say the best performance in India is IBC, second best performance is SARFAESI, and then DRTs, separate DRTs, and then followed by Lok Adalats. This was the sequence last year, but I deliberately did not give you this sequence because I want you to write the new sequence. That's why I asked you to highlight it, the updates from economic survey, because if you write the old one, you will be relaxed, done. So, but now when you read it, you'll say, "Arey, this is yellow, I have to update." So that's the answer. Please write. Question. Question number 1. Discuss the government efforts to solve the NPA problem of PSBs, public sector banks. Question number 2. The PSBs played a crucial role in solving India's NPA problem. India's NPA problem. Third, do you agree that the NPA challenge of Indian PSBs have been solved? Put a full stop and write argue. This is a new type of question, okay? Argue. This we'll do tomorrow, and there will be one more question, wo bhi likh lijiye, because this is tomorrow's agenda. One separate question extra. Last question. Discuss the structure and regulatory changes in the cooperative banks in India. Right, bacho? Oh, wait, what did I ask you to write? Cooperative ka regulatory changes. Wow, that means that something must have happened in last 1 year. Big things would have happened. Yes, very big things have happened in cooperative banks. See, there is something called as cooperative sector. That cooperative sector you study in GS paper 2, right? Like that Amul cooperative, etc., etc. But this is banking. So you are going to study the cooperative banks with me. That how do the cooperative banks operate and what are the regulations? There is too much of confusion in the cooperative regulation. Just like NBFCs, huge confusion is there. And every source will give you different answer. From where do we get the right answer? RBI circulars. So I referred to RBI circulars. I took all the screenshots, everything. I created this framework for you because it's not conceptual, it's factual. We'll do it tomorrow. Fine. So by the way, today I noticed something. Your absorption was really good today. Why did you focus so much today and why not in other lectures? But your focus was really good today. Because I was looking at you guys, you were giving answers also, typing, writing, typing. So you understood the things. If you keep this kind of focus, I can assure you that you can reproduce everything in the exam. You will not make mistakes. Just have this focus, huh? All right. Anything where you got stuck? That we'll do tomorrow. The question that I told you, yes, sir. These questions, this for tomorrow, not today. The cooperative and the PSBs tomorrow. So anything that gave you trouble. PMC, you told me that you come to Wajiram also sometimes. Meet me wherever you are around, okay? So wherever you are available. So see, till evening I am normally not available. Like today I'll be occupied till late night. I have a class here only. Tomorrow, if you are available in Vajiram after 5:30, around 5:30, if you are available, let me know. So from morning I'll take lecture till 5:30 tomorrow. So if you are available, today it will be late. Where do you sit? Which office? Where will you go? Tomorrow evening, okay, done. Answer to government efforts to solve NPA crisis in India. No, not complete. It will be completed tomorrow. New building only. Okay, fine. So see you in the new building. All right, Sujita, all fine? PM? PM, these days I see you very less. Okay, you send me that. Sujita, you mail me. So PM, I hope you are fine. Devanshu, all okay? Oh, it's already there. Acha, you are not well. Okay. Which of the following? This I have already discussed, PP, in that video. Please refer to that video. Already discussed all these answers. Acha, your interpretation you have written. I just now saw. Original. Correct. Correct. The argument which you have given supports it. But then it differs from my argument. Because in the video I have told something else. What's that video? From the example of bad bank, can we say that NBFC is not only helping financial, absolutely. Oh yes, and tomorrow we will start financial inclusion also. Correct. So from the example of bad bank, can we say NBFC is absolutely. Devanshu, correct statement. No, but while teaching the theory, I have taught that. Watch it, PP, watch it carefully. I create my lectures in such a way that all the questions which I ask you already covered in the class. I do it deliberately so that if you are focused in the class, you will catch everything. So watch it again and try to cover it and then let me know. All right. By the way, guys, did you watch that G20 wala video, etc.? So which are the two original Bretton Woods institution? So the original ones technically are IBRD and IMF. But then what did World Bank Group say? World Bank Group said that no, call World Bank as original, IBRD and IDA. They themselves said that call us original, two of us together. So now if you get a question in the exam that what is the original, if IBRD is there, that is also correct. If World Bank is there, that is also correct. Because they themselves said that we are the original. Because the agenda of IBRD was completed by IDA. This story I have told. So you have to listen to the entire story. I promise you one thing, if you listen to the entire story in the videos, every question can be answered. Only when you take the story not seriously, fear you will miss the points. Take the story seriously. All right, cool. Thank you so much. So see you in the class and please maintain the productivity that you have shown today. Amazing productivity. I could not watch it. Oh, it is available. So Ganya, watch it please. Watch it. It's gone, sir. In 6 days validity. It was there for 6 days. Sir, till 6. Till yesterday. Till yesterday. Okay, fine. You can raise a request. It's fine. Anyway, you were not well, so you can raise a request. That's why you have been not coming to the class also, I know. Because earlier you were coming. Raise a request. All right. Thank you so much. Good day.